fans, on behalf of Alma College and the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association, welcome to Balke Field for today's NCAA Division III college football game featuring the Knights of Martin Luther College and your Alma College Scots. Fans, at this time, please turn your attention to the track in front of the home stands for our featured twirler, Jordan Freeland. Each year, Alma College would like to recognize student leaders who go above and beyond to make our campus a better place for all these students. These students have thrived in the classroom and have made a significant impact on Alma College and the greater Alma community. They actively embody Alma's core values every day by serving generously, leading purposefully, and living responsibly. By putting others first and employing social justice mindset, these students utilize their unique talents to create a more welcoming, equitable, and inclusive space at Alma College. Presenting the court with their homecoming gifts is Vice President for Student Affairs, Damon Brown. Please turn your attention to the track as we honor the 2022 homecoming court representatives, and this year's representatives are Lauren Bishop, a senior from Detroit, Michigan. She is majoring in art and design with a minor in new media studies. Lauren is a member of the Art Club, Hispanic Coalition, Black Student Union, and Fashion Club. Lauren also serves as a resident assistant. Ava Fredrickson is a senior from Alto, Michigan. She is majoring in business administration and political science. Ava is a member of the Political Science Club, the Women's Lacrosse team, serves as community outreach coordinator for Alternative Breaks, and is the co-community outreach coordinator for the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Marissa Luzak is a junior from Riverview, Michigan. She is majoring in secondary education and English with a minor in math. Marissa is a member of the swim team, Gamma Phi Beta, Student Advancement Association, Alpha Phi Omega, Kappa Delta Pi, Education Club, and is a resident assistant in Gelston Hall. Abby Taylor is a junior from Riverdale, Michigan. She is majoring in integrative physiology and health science with a concentration in pre-physician's assistant track. Abby is a senior first-year guide and a member of the women's swim team. She's a part of the pre-med and PA club, serves as a representative for the Student Athlete Advisory Committee for the swims team, and is the ski club president. starters. First for the visitors from Martin Luther College at quarterback number 10, Max Nordley. Running back number 7, Carson Ostrike. Other running back is Zach Arndt, number 15. Wide receivers are number 11, Mason Cox, and Jack Vogel, number 42. At tight end, we have number 14, Zach Teal. The left tackle is number 67, Isaiah Ham. The left guard is number 62, Cole Broekhuizen. The center is Timothy Manning, number 75. The right guard is Tyler Holtoiter, number 77. And at right tackle, Samuel Rodriguez. On the defensive side, defensive end, number 4, Bryce Goose. Other defensive end is Adam Aerosmith, number 3. Defensive tackles are number 45, David Hirsch and Christian Kochman. The linebackers are number 36, Dave Bauman and Cooper Knoll. And the outside linebacker is Joey Elke, number 40. Cornerbacks are number 5, Matthew Hilmer and Nathan Golsch, number 2. Safeties, John Holtz, number 1, and Elijah Henning is number 19. The kicker is Micah Kolzhinitsky. Punter is Joey Elke. Fans, at this time, please turn your attention to the video board for your Alma College projected starters.
On the defensive line,
Jerome Robertson, Pontiac, Michigan.
Lance Ramaker, Australia, Michigan.
Evan Mativa, Midland, Michigan.
Jalen Dunwoody, Detroit, Michigan.
At linebacker, Odin Staffordini, Traverse City, Michigan.
Eli Jackson, Morristown, Michigan.
Gage Nelson, Standish, Michigan.
At defensive back, Drew Hong, Alma, Michigan.
Austin Flowers, Muskegon, Michigan.
Jack Kretschmar, Marine City, Michigan.
Connor Duma, Ada, Michigan.
On the offensive line,
Braden Henderson, Millington, Michigan.
Zach Post, Lowell, Michigan.
Alex Dean, Shelley, Michigan.
Ethan Drake, Westman.
at receiver,
Devin Crenshaw, St. Joseph, Michigan. Nate Gorelski, Romeo, Michigan.
Ty Lauderman, Marquette, Michigan.
Cole Thomas, St. John's, Michigan.
in the backfield,
Eddie Williams, East Point, Michigan.
Trent Devereaux, Oakland, Michigan.
Partner, here to support what matters most.
Well, good Saturday afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Alma College Football live on 104.9 WQBX. Online at WQBX.biz with live video streaming at elmascots.com. Today live from Balke Field, it's a homecoming matchup between the Alma Scots and Martin Luther has come to town from Minnesota
not
today.
Not him personally. But
no, not him personally, but Martin Luther is here. for a big matchup with the Scots on homecoming. I'm Jeff Somerville, Topher Goggin alongside as we welcome you in to the Mercantile Bank Scots pregame show. And Scots off to a rock and rolling start, 3-0 here on the season. Things have gone just according to plan. Martin Luther comes to town. They pose a completely different beast as far as what to look for. What are we going to see out there today?
Well, we're going to see the option is what we're going to see.
For sure.
This is a different offense, not often seen at the collegiate level. It's something that Martin Luther has run for a number of years, and they've run it very well. That being said, they have struggled this season. It's been a bit of a step backwards, an 0-3 start. They went 5-4 last year, but that was 5-1 in conference play in the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference for the Knights. So they were a little bit slow out of the blocks last year as well, but just having a hard time getting traction, having a hard time getting stops, and turning the ball over, frankly, too often. They're minus 11 in turnover margin, and that is not something you want to be when you're playing against the Alma Scots, who have forced only 11 turnovers through 3 weeks this year compared to 17 through 3 weeks last year. But if you look through their last 13 games, Jeff, Alma has forced 51 turnovers. That's 3.9 per game.
It's unheard of.
Forced by this Scots defense. So if Martin Luther wants to be competitive today, job number one is to take care of the football. As we said, they're going to run the option behind quarterback Max Nordley, who is a graduate, as are many of these MLC players from Michigan Lutheran Seminary. 10 seminary kids are on this team. That's why the opposing bleachers are packed, even though in theory, Martin Luther College is 11 hours away in Minnesota,
at least
just west of the Twin Cities. So that is, that is where things start, though, is with Nordley. They will actually snap the ball to him, Jeff, directionally. So if the play goes to the right, the snap will lead him to the right so he can run with it into the flow of the play. Same thing going the other direction. Primary offensive threat behind Nordley is Carson Ostrike, junior running back, 6 feet, 210 pounds. Over 1,100 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns last year. He's also an all-conference track runner, and you do not want to let him get up to speed. 10.7 speed in the 100 meters in track. Ooh. So you better get him fast, because once he's moving, you're not going to catch up.
No, that's quick. There's no question about that. And, it's a Martin Luther team that has had great success over the years. They've made multiple playoff appearances, a team that has run this option so many times for so many years. New coaching staff this year, like you said, but it's a team that historically has just come at you with everything they've got, and when they're done with that, they come at you some more. Alma's got to be prepared for that this afternoon. It's, like you said, it's not something that you ever see, but it's something that you have to be prepared for. Now, on the other side of the football, though, Scots have a great opportunity to move the ball here. Martin Luther has been extremely susceptible to the pass this season, and I think Alma will look to take advantage of it early and often.
Yeah, it is a Martin Luther team that really has struggled defensively, allowing 41 points per game, it's just a lot. And 430 yards of total offense. You mentioned it, the pass defense has really been the weakness. 325 average allowed through the air. That's a big number. Not getting a lot of quarterback pressure on the season. Adam Aerosmith leads the team in sacks with 1. So it bodes well for the Scots quarterbacks, who we will see many of today. Carter St. John will start, the freshman, but then we'll see Trent Devereaux. They split reps last week. We expect to also see Davin Reif out of Frankenmuth. So all 3 of those guys expect to be on the field in the first half. You give them time to throw, they're likely to pick you apart. St. John had the yardage last week with a little over 150 yards, 1 touchdown. Devereaux had most of the scores with 3 scores as Alma went down to Anderson and routed Anderson 45-7. That being said, I don't think the Scots coaching staff was as happy with that game as the score might have indicated. They put up, Coach Couch said, we should have had 600 yards worth of total offense. And although they held Anderson to 7 points, there were 4 red zone trips where 3 times the Scots had to slam the door inside the 5. They're delighted to see them do that, but defensive coordinator Scotty Hull and Ryan Ettinger would far prefer not to see things get that far, essentially.
Well, no doubt.
And I think the one other thing that we want to look at today that has become a consistent problem for the Scots in the early part of this season has been the penalties. The 2 teams last week combined for 188 penalty yards, but Alma averaging 89 penalty yards a game, and they've taken a touchdown off the board by penalty each of the last 2 weeks. So that is something they want to clean up as they head into what will be a brutal MIAA schedule. The MIAA, folks, things are going terrifically well for Alma, but not just for Alma. The MIAA is a league through 3 weeks, 19-2 only 2 losses by MIAA teams against anybody.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy.
As conference play gets ready to start next month, you better be ready to go, because just because you ran through your non-conference season doesn't necessarily mean a lot.
No, you need to be prepared and ready. And, like I told Coach Couch on Wednesday at the coaches show, I don't see anybody going undefeated through the league with as deep as the league is this year. Now, he countered with, well, I hope we do. Makes perfect sense coming from a coach. But
anybody else, you mean?
Yeah, I just, it's going to be very difficult to run through that league undefeated. So
right, and that was reflected. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just every game is going to really matter, and you're going to have to be sharp from the word go every week.
And that was reflected in the preseason coaches poll, where Hope, Albion, and Trine were all within 2 votes of each other. That's one of those coaches polls where you're not allowed to vote yourself,
right.
Number one. But still, when you see that meshing, when there's a best team, they get every first place vote except their own. And that is not what happened this year. Hope gets the top nod. That will be Alma's next home game on October 15th. But Trine, where Alma goes next week, right in the mix as always. And Albion now joining the fray. The Britons have had some good years recently, maybe not as consistently at the top as Hope and Trine have been recently. But it's going to be a crowded clubhouse at the top of the MIAA standings. So Alma's got to take care of business today, but then be ready, especially come next week.
No question about that. And this is a team that has come a long ways, and I think they've got the ability to beat every team in the league. You just have to go out and do it. You've got to play perfect football. You've got to hold yourselves accountable and just go out and do it. This is the final tune-up for that, and you need to get a win here. Yeah. You cannot have a letdown.
Yeah. That being said, this is the epitome of a trap game. That you look at an 0-3 team that runs a system that you haven't seen before. That is where you can get caught looking ahead, and the Scots have to avoid that. Kilty Marching Band will play the national anthem. We'll pause briefly, be back to Bulky Field after this. Back here at Alma College, about 3 minutes left on the pregame clock. Captains are assembling to head out to midfield for the coin toss. Jack Kretschmar, Caleb Kinsvatter, Alex Dean, and Gage Nelson get the duties for the Scots today. So we'll keep an eye on that in a moment. Couple of MIAA teams already in action this afternoon. 3-0 Kalamazoo down on the road against Alfred, but close, 17-13 that game in the middle of the third quarter. Hope all over Northwestern. That's the Northwestern in Minnesota, a 21-0 lead early there for the Flying Dutchman. Olivet plays against Greenville. Albion takes on Wisconsin Eau Claire. Center College at Trine this afternoon, and former MIAA member Finlandia taking on Adrian later today as the MIAA teams round out their non-conference season. 4 non-conference games, 6 in conference play with a bye week mixed in somewhere along the way, and that'll get underway next week. As we mentioned, the Scots will be on the road down to Trine for a 1 o'clock kickoff in that one. Teams now assemble at midfield. Everybody getting the handshakes in. We see Nathan Golish out there along with Aerosmith for MLC. Aerosmith is an interesting story in that we actually, Jeff, have the last 2 starting quarterbacks from Michigan Lutheran Seminary out here.
Interesting.
Both in the form of Max Nordley, but then Aerosmith, who initially was a tight end, ended up playing quarterback as a senior over there for Coach Carl Schmuge and the Cardinals. Of course, a storied program. Hasn't been quite the gaudy numbers the last 3 or 4 seasons from MLS. 6-4, 7-3 in the last couple of years under Nordley.
You hear there, Martin Luther wins the toss. They will defer.
And that means we'll see Devin Frenchko, I assume, back deep to return. Frenchko had a great receiving game last week against Anderson. 5 catches, 100 yards, and 2 scores. And, of course, always so dangerous in return action, having taken a couple of kicks back in the high 90s or even 100 yards last year for scores against Manchester.
If there's anyone out there watching or listening very, very carefully, you'll know that the head referee got his directions wrong. He said that the Scots would receive the kick in the north end zone. They're actually going to receive it in the south end zone here, I believe.
Well, check the compass.
His compass was upside down.
There we go. Frenchko and Buddy Hogan will be back deep to return. Frenchko averaging only 12 yards a return this season on a couple of attempts. Exactly.
Hasn't gotten enough attempts yet.
And we expect to see Micah Kuznitsky out of Waukesha, Wisconsin, on to kickoff. He's got 1 touchback out of 7 kickoffs so far this year. As we said, it's been a lopsided season. The Scots outscoring their opponents almost 37-9. The other direction for MLC getting outscored 41-9. But looking to turn things around. A great battle in this game last year at Martin Luther in Minnesota, 35-27. Alma was down a substantial part of the way, rallied late in that one, and can be grateful for a number of turnovers that were lost along the way. Well, actually, both teams turned the ball over quite a bit last year.
Huge homecoming crowd here at Balke Field.
Kuznitsky has it teed up at the 35. We are just about ready to go. Frenchko with a little look as they get the wrong name over the PA for who's back deep to return. This one may not get all the way back there. Hogan has to step up all the way to the 20 to make the catch. Waits for his blockers and slips down. Oh my, you could see the hole open.
Yeah, that hole was wide open. The new turf a little slick here on the cold day at Balke Field.
And it is wet out there. It is not raining right now. Cloudy skies, but there has been intermittent rain all morning. Nothing particularly hard out. 60 or 70 brave souls came out for the Scott Trot run this morning. Got sprinkled on, but that was it. And here comes Carter St. John. The freshman gets the start today. Devereaux started last week. They're just going to flip-flop those roles. 9 of 16, 151 yards and a touchdown last week. 3 touchdowns on the season. Played a phenomenal game 2 weeks ago here against Manchester, where he went 17 of 19 in the first half, 19 of 24 overall.
The referee made some sort of announcement, but nobody heard it. He didn't turn his mic pack on.
Brief delay, and now the Scots will open things up by handing it off out of the shotgun to Eddie Williams. He works to his left, approaches the 30 down there. That's a gain of about 2.5 for Williams, the freshman out of East Point and Fraser High School.
Scots will go quickly. Expect Martin Luther maybe 2-1 as far as a time of possession advantage here today.
That's probably a fair assumption with how quickly the Scots want to run their tempo. Play action fake on 2nd and 7. St. John from the pocket, looking long, got Frenchko out there. It's a little underthrown. Frenchko comes back, and a nice job in the secondary by Elijah Henning to punch that one away.
Frenchko came too far back, frankly. Ended up sailing over his head. Elijah Henning with a nice play, basically just tackling Frenchko as he went up to grab it. But I think Devin, he might have been hit in stride there.
Henning, one of a couple of MLC players who also play on the Knights baseball team. 3rd down and 7 for Alma on the opening possession of the game. Straight drop from St. John out of the shotgun, tucks it away and is going to run. 35, trying to get to the first down marker, does at the 40, then finds space along the sideline and grabs about 8 more yards before he's shoved out of bounds just shy of midfield.
That's a good job to just step up into the pocket, take what the defense gave him. It was wide open for a first down. Heady play by the freshman.
St. John hasn't done a whole lot on the ground this year. That was only his 8th carry of the season and nearly doubles his yardage. Play action fake, kept in another quarterback keeper instead for St. John, who gets hit at the 47 of Martin Luther, but give him about 3 more.
It's a really nice play down there, though, by Zachary Gregorius to just grab the ankle and hold on, bring him down.
Williams now sets up on the right side of the shotgun. Kruger split wide to the right. Two receivers go left. This time they'll give it to Williams. He doubles back to his right because there's a huge hole across the 40 and down the sideline to the 35-yard line. Shoved out by Matthew Hilmer there.
Got a really good block out there that time by Henderson.
Kruger sprints across the field to get lined up. That receiver on the far side.
Martin Luther never did get lined up.
Handoff Williams up the middle. Martin Luther just going to do what they can to drive this one backwards, but it's another 4-yard pickup down to the 29. 13:33 to play in the first quarter. Homecoming here at Alma College. Scott's with the ball to open the game.
And they're moving quickly, as we expect.
Cole Thomas, former wide receiver, converted into more of a tight end role this year out of St. John's. Sets up at a wing on the right. Two wide receivers go left on 2nd and 7. Williams again, there's the hole to the right around the end, and look out, 20 stumbles, stays on his feet though at the 10, and Eddie Williams has scored. It is the 4th touchdown on the season for Eddie Williams, despite nearly tripping over his own shoelaces, and the Scots lead 6-0.
It's a 29-yard touchdown run for Eddie Williams, and the Scots strike quickly. Great drive for Williams right there. 4 carries, about 40 yards in the score.
Josh Hernandez comes on for the PAT. Missed 4 field goals back in week 1, but perfect all year on extra points, 11 for 11.
I slighted Eddie. It's 4 carries, 50 yards, and a quick touchdown.
There you go. Kruger to hold from the couch, snap, kick up and good. 7-0 Alma early, 13:10 to go first quarter. We'll be right back. Caleb Kinsvatter on to kick off for the Scots. You'll notice he's added a kicking shoe on that right foot to those trademark blue shoes we're used to seeing. Booted a couple of extra points along with Hernandez last week in the game down to Anderson. He'll get ready to try to drive it deep. And bound to the 1-yard line, and a fair catch there from MLC. And that's Ostrike, who will see plenty of at running back, but not looking to take his chances on a return here. So here comes Max Nordley. Not the same stats this year as what Alma had come to expect from him. They compared him to Johnny Manziel last season, but off to a slow start. 14 of 30 through the air, 164 yards and 5 interceptions with no touchdowns. Last year against Alma, though, a completely different story. 9 of 23, 3 touchdowns and 20 carries. He'll split the backs behind them, and we'll look for this directional snap that we've heard about where they'll try to get the option.
Whoa,
a little too
that
fast.
Was real quick.
Off the line in a real hurry is Isaiah Hom out of Heartland, Wisconsin, lined up at left tackle, and he was ready to move.
I'm not sure they were anywhere near ready to snap the football there. I think he might have just heard something else.
So 1st and 15, they'll try this again. Option to the left. Deep pitch trying to get outside, and there's nothing there. A flying tackle made by Flowers as Zach Arndt out of Rosemount, Minnesota tries to find some space, and it's just not available.
Well, I didn't see a directional snap that time.
No,
maybe they've struggled enough that they've scrapped that at this point with the fumbles.
I don't know that we talked about the exact number. We mentioned a lot of fumbles. Through 3 games, MLC has put it on the ground 18 times. They've only lost 6 of them. 13 total turnovers as a team.
And as an option team, 2nd and 15 is not what you want to get yourself in.
Reese Recker comes in as the other running back. 2 wide receivers go right on 2nd and long. Nordley from a 4-yard pistol drop Pulls it back to himself, cuts right, finds some space, goes outside at the 25, and then gets drilled from behind. Good play to get back into the action there by, I believe, Nelson. Safardini in the neighborhood as well.
Gain of 6, but that still leaves them at 3rd and 9. That was a really well-executed play by Nordley, but not enough to make the 3rd down any more comfortable. He may have to put it in the air here.
If he does, the primary target is Mason Cox, 4 catches, 95 yards on the season, had 4 grabs for 34 yards against Alma last year.
Big target, 6'4", 210.
3rd down and 9 already, 7-0 Alma. Martin Luther sends Nordley back to pass from the pocket, throws high over the middle. There's 4 defenders out there and only 1 receiver. It's incomplete, just a hair short of Austin Flowers playing center field.
He was bobbling that one around. Martin Luther will most likely have to punt here, and the Scots should get very good field position.
That'll bring on Joey Elke, averaging about 34 yards a kick. See Elke on defense as well. It's a much shorter MLC roster than we see from some teams.
Very much so.
These guys, if you're here, you're going to see the field for the most part. Nate Goralski back deep to return. Hasn't really broken one this season, but you know he's capable of it. Scots look like they're going to rush 10. They'll send 8, get a lot of pressure through. Kick is away, but short, high hanger, and Goralski with a fair catch at the 47-yard line, right on the A at midfield.
Pretty good kick, though. Good hang time. No chance at a return for Goralski.
No decision to make as the returner, whether you might want to take a shot at that one.
Well, if you decided you were going to, it would have been the wrong decision, certainly.
Alma 6 runs, 1 pass on that opening touchdown drive. The pass from St. John was incomplete. Williams carried 4 times for 50 yards in the score. And then St. John had the other 2, picked up 23 yards with his own feet. He'll be back out for this possession. Then we expect to see Devereaux on the 3rd possession. Nate Webb moves to the tight end / wing position on the right. Gage Kruger out wide that direction. Alma from its own 47 with a 7-0 lead. Play action, thrown in cut and incomplete. Kruger wanted a flag, claimed that he was held on his break there, but did not get the look from the officials.
Pass was a long ways off if Kruger wasn't held, I think.
So Alma 0 of 2 through the air. Will bring in Vern Smith as a second running back here for 2nd and 10. Smith, of course, with the game with 3 touches and 3 touchdowns against Manchester 2 weeks ago. St. John to throw. Pocket collapses, steps up, now finds a little opening for an underneath dump off and makes it down to the MLC 40. That's good there to Tommy Johnstone and moves the chains.
Excellent throw. Little side-armed as he stepped up in the pocket.
Johnstone hustles back into the left slot. Noah Jansen out wide that direction. Rolling left. St. John in trouble. Doesn't have anybody to pitch to. He lost the orientation.
He did.
For Smith. Smith decided to get out front and try to block, but there was nobody there to block. They were back wrapping up the ankles of Carter St. John for a half-yard loss at the 42.
Smith out. They'll bring Webb back on.
Jansen, Johnstone, and Kruger all go wide to the right. 2nd down and 11. Rolling right. St. John throws deep, looking for Kruger. Can he get separation? He does. A leaping catch at the 10 and a touchdown. Got in there behind Hilmer that time and dropped on the money by Carter St. John. It's 13-0 Scots.
It's a 42-yard touchdown pass, and the Scots have jumped all over an opponent again here.
Not unlike what happened 2 weeks ago and frankly last week as well, which was a 35-0 halftime lead. There were 2 interceptions early in that game, one by each team before the scoring started, but then the Scots rang up the scoreboard in a hurry. Hernandez will now come on to try to make the lead 14-0. Snap, good hold, kick is up and through. 14-0, 10:49 still to play first quarter. We'll be back right after this. Scott's announcing the honorary coaches for the game, including Dr. Brian Hancock, somebody that you know from the Alma
Great
Grand
guy.
Prix of cyclocross, but also doing great work in the education field here at Alma College. He's the honorary coach for the day, picked out by Nate Goralski. 10:49 to go in the first quarter. All Scots so far, they lead 14-0 here against Martin Luther College. Martin Luther out of New Ulm, Minnesota, which is just west of the Twin Cities, population of about 14,000. Hometown of, you remember Terry Steinbach from the Oakland days? That's his hometown. Also a number of polka legends coming out of that town. Kinsvatter boots it away, driven up the left side. Ostrike from the 1, he's gonna try this one. Stutter step at the 5, cuts outside 10, has a little bit of space. Now flying tackle, nicely done over there on the far sideline. Alma drills him out of bounds at the 19. Looks like it was Bryce Friedenberg making that tackle. Friedenberg, of course, had the 2 interceptions back in week 1 as Alma pulled off a 16-13 overtime win against Ohio Northern. So MLC from the 19 didn't go anywhere on their first possession.
No, certainly not.
Nordley stands a step in front of the 2 backs, 1 to either side. Ball over on the right hash to start this possession, 14-0 Alma. Nordley, they directionally snap it to the left. He keeps it, and wouldn't have gone any better with Recker, but it doesn't go very far for Nordley either.
Nordley gets
Give
a
him
yard,
a
at
yard
least.
as he pulled it out at the last second. It's an option offense.
That was blown up quickly, and you can see that directional snap now, too.
Martin Luther has a second-team All-UMAC selection in Cole Brockheisen out there, but had some big losses to graduation along this offensive line from last year. Cox, the star wide receiver, out to the left. He'll work against Duma on 2nd and 9. Option to nobody.
Yeah.
And Nordley goes down, faked the handoff into space. I think somebody went the wrong direction there.
Yeah, there was nobody home right there for whatever reason. And again, a 3rd and 9 situation, second possession, second time this has happened.
Under 10 minutes to play in the first quarter, 14-0. Alma in control here early, and MLC trying to find a way to move the football. Offense on the year, they've averaged 207 on the ground, only 67 through the air for the Knights. Here's Nordley on 3rd down. They'll try the left, deep pitch this time, trying to get it outside with Arndt, and the Scots are there again. Kretschmar along with Duma make the tackle. And only a
Kretschmar forced that one deep into the backfield, and they finished it off. Punt time again now.
Scots do have a hobbling player finding his way off.
They do.
That's Lance Rademacher out of Palamo, Westphalia. But the defense won't be needed for a couple of minutes as the punt team is back out.
Scots do it pretty quickly these days on offense. Very good punt the first time.
Might be 2 minutes of real time, not game time. Wide splits along the line. Let the Scots get a pretty good look at this one. A flag down. And fielded on the punt by Goralski back at the 50. He cuts outside. They thought they had him, and Goralski's still up. He picks up another 8 or 9 yards, getting away on the far sideline, but let's check the flag.
If it's on Martin Luther, the Scots will surely decline it. But I'm wondering if it was an alignment issue.
Based on when it came out, there's a pretty good chance.
The flags are on both sides
of the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So both linesmen may very well have seen.
Yeah, right at the 19-yard line, both sidelines.
If the play stands, Alma's going to start at the MLC 40, and they are assembling the offense like that's what's going to happen. Or are they? They're assembling the defense, actually. That's Coach Ettinger down there, and Soffredini in the middle of the huddle along with assistant coach Ryan Calhoun. So hang on a second.
Yeah, I think this is...
Anthony Spears lined up off sides.
I wondered, and that must have been very obvious if both linesmen can see it. So is Martin Luther going to go for this now?
Well, they've still got Elke out there, so I don't think so. Although Goralski came on to return and now comes back off, so the Scots are not convinced. It's going to be 4th and 4.
I think they're going.
mean, down 14-0, there's an argument to go for it, but they've still got Elke out there. So it is a punt formation. They'll get all 7 up on the line.
Push Kretschmar back into a return, but the Scots have a real defense out there.
Yeah, just in case. Sort of the punt safe. 7 on the line of scrimmage, 3 behind, and then Elke stands at his 12. Better protection this time, a low driving punt, bit of a wobbler, but going to get an MLC bounce. Down inside the Scots 40 to the 38, 37, still going, to the 37. So a major improvement. They pick up 23 yards courtesy of the 5-yard penalty. And that's where Alma will open things up for possession number 3, and we'll see whether Trent Devereaux makes his first appearance.
Yep, here he comes. That's exactly what we were told. And it'll be Devereaux's show here for a couple possessions. St. John couldn't have done much better on his 2, so.
2 touchdowns in under 5 minutes is not bad. Devereaux 14 of 29 on the season, 3 touchdowns and interception. Started 2 out of the 4 games as well. He fakes it to Smith, stands in the pocket, throws over the middle, trying to get to Frenchco. Go up top. Frenchco had it and dropped it. Oh, man. Frenchco in behind the defense, leapt, but just couldn't get the squeeze. He'd gotten behind Henning. Devin's going to want to have that one back.
Yeah, it was a pretty good throw. Probably would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, I think that he was in stride enough that he probably doesn't have to break it and just keeps going. 2nd down and 10. Scots pack the formation, hand it off to Vern Smith. He works outside to the left, has a lot of space. A flag down behind. There's going to be a hold here as Smith just levels John Holtz out there in the MLC secondary, eventually driven out of bounds across the MLC 40. But unfortunately, he's going to have a lengthy jog the other direction.
Yeah, it's going to come back 10 yards. That does mean that he still touched the ball 3 times on his home field this year and scored all 3.
That's true.
So.
That's true. Every play he's touched it at Bulky Field has been a touchdown.
That 23-yard gain was going to be nothing for him.
Exactly. Hold was along the left side of the Scots line. I'll catch Henderson on that one. So downs marker reads 3rd down, but that's incorrect. It is still 2nd down. And there's the correction over there. Smith moves to the right side of Devereaux. 2 wides to the left. Ty Lauderman in for the first time on this possession. He's over to the right. Goralski motion behind Devereaux in the shotgun. Handoff to Smith. Cuts into the middle. And not as much space there. They'll look at him pound those legs. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 yards before it's done. And Vern Smith doing it all while surrounded by 5 white jerseys.
That right there was impressive. That was good stuff.
Not a first down, but makes it 3rd, and we'll call it 7. So 13 yards before all was said and done there. Approaching the midpoint of the first quarter, Scott's already leading 14-0. Trent Devereaux at quarterback for this drive, looking at a 3rd and 7. And he'll try Smith again, waits patiently. Hole didn't really open up, though. Got 3.
Seemed like a good option.
Now 4th down and 4, and the Scots will call for the punt unit.
Got themselves behind the sticks with the penalty.
Golish will head back for his 2nd punt return of the season. May not be his 2nd time back to return, but has only actually gotten to take a try at one of them. I believe Corey Tipton is your other choice back there.
Kinsvatter should be able to get a lot of this one downwind.
You would think so. Punting from back at the 33-yard line of scrimmage. The 43 hangs it up high, and Tipton with a fair catch at the 17.
It's a great kick from Kinsvatter.
40-yard punt with no return, and Alma will be delighted with that.
And an inside the 20.
Yep. Adding another one of those. That's now 6 of 13 inside the 20, pinned by Caleb Kinsvatter.
It means multiple things. It means you're doing a great job as a punter, and it means your offense is moving the football fairly consistently.
Yes, you don't have to punt
too.
from your own 5-yard line. That's a good point. That's a good point.
We'll see what Martin Luther tries to do here. Only about 3 or 4 yards total so far.
Yeah, but also the small sample sizes. They were 3 and out on both possessions, so they really haven't had a chance to try much out. They'll go with an extra tight end here. Only 1 wide receiver. Snap it to the left, kept by Nordley and planted by Flowers.
Wow.
That was the Flowers doing the planting rather than the Flowers being planted, and Nordley was the recipient.
Play just looked discombobulated from the get-go. I don't know if I understand these directional snaps.
Nordley, if you've noticed on the option, has pulled it for himself almost every time because the Scots have clearly taken away the handoff option. The problem is somebody else then also has been able to take away the quarterback.
Yeah, Flowers is flying all the way in from a deep safety.
Little different alignment. They'll spread things out. Wrecker the lone back. He'll line up on the right of Nordley in the gun, and then a whistle.
Well, he got
maybe
it off.
A delay.
Yeah, he didn't get it off.
We're very close, but flag, and that's the last thing Martin Luther needs. They'll now be looking at 2nd and 18.
Yeah, not a lot going right so far for Martin Luther. Knights now backed up inside their own 10-yard line.
Four wide once again on 2nd and long. Tipped in the motion man. Goes from left to right. That's the direction of the play. Rolling deep to throw. Then hopping and tossing it, and it's intercepted by Flowers at the 20. Steps over one tackle, then upended there. But the Scots forced turnover number 12 on the season. Austin Flowers grabbing his first interception of the year. Scots are in business once again.
Now, excellent field position here at the 14-yard line, and that defense is just absolutely dominant so far in this first quarter, Toph.
Knew it was going to be a big ask for an MLC team that has struggled offensively relative to prior seasons. Scots basically picking up right where they left off defensively last year.
Oh, certainly.
Devereaux remains at quarterback. He'll have Buddy Hogan with him this time. First down from the 14. Scots already up by 14. Looking for a little bit more. Devereaux to throw. Flushed out of the pocket by Elke to the right. Running, throwing back over the middle, and Hogan wide open for a touchdown.
Good job to find him from Devereaux. Whistles a flag over on the far side.
See if it's the third week in a row that the Scots have had a penalty nullify a touchdown, but if not...
Penalty flag sits at the 7-yard line.
Buddy Hogan's third catch of the season finds its way into the end zone. Let's see.
Ineligible man downfield on the Scots.
Yeah, Zach Post got a little too far downfield while Devereaux was buying time there. So 1st and 15 from the 19 instead of a touchdown, and that is, again, something that Alma will want to work on. Third week in a row, the touchdown comes off the board. Now, what they've been very proud of is their bounce back from these situations. First down and 15 as Alex Dean gets ready to snap it. Quick play fake and a quick out, caught, and not much space for Lauderman there. Gets the penalty back and maybe one more yard to the 13.
Cooper Knoll shaken up a little bit there.
Back on his feet now.
He's going to try to stay in the football game, but the coaching staff saw that and sent in a sub.
Got a sub quickly as Alma's ready to go. He didn't really get
all
the way
dive off.
Thrown
too.
into the corner now, and a leaping catch by Goralski before we can even catch up with the action. It's an Alma touchdown.
Incredible throw by Devereaux there.
A corner route, and Nate Goralski puts the Scots up 20-0. Second receiving score on the year, and the second in as many weeks for Goralski, who grabbed one last week against Anderson. And Devereaux finds him, and Alma extends the lead with still 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Heck of a start once again for the Scots.
Hard to beat it. Hold down for Hernandez, extra point, which is good. 21-0. 5:18 to go. You're listening to Scots Football on Q104.9. Kinsvatter just slightly left of center as he sets up for another kickoff here. Third time the Scots will boot it away. And a fair catch signaled at the 2-yard line. And MLC will head out to the 25.
Well, same situation here for MLC. They've got to get that offense rolling. Because they're not showing any signs of being able to stop the Scots on a consistent basis, at least.
Right, yeah, and you almost feel like it's going to take a big play.
Yep.
Of course, those can come in a hurry against an option offense like this. One missed tackle, and it's a numbers game. Cox wide to the left. Nordley, the junior quarterback, out of Lake Orion. Option to the left, late pitch, gets it to Recker, cuts around, and another flying tackle. What a first quarter Austin Flowers is having.
Yes.
A couple of amazing tackles and interception. He is doing everything out there right now.
One of the better gains so far of the afternoon, and it's just 2.5 yards there.
3 tackles, 1 for loss, and an interception for Flowers, the junior out of Mona Shores over in Muskegon. Had 3 interceptions last year as well. 2nd down and 8. They'll run the option to the right this time, and Recker takes that handoff straight into the arms of Gage Nelson, and straight from the arms of Gage Nelson to the turf. No gain on that one. 3rd down and 8 coming up.
Offensive line of the Knights just doesn't seem to have that push that they need in this offense.
All right, Scott's front doing some really good work down there. Do not see Rademacher back in the ball game. Of course, with this gigantic Scott's roster, it's hard to pick people out along the sidelines after Lance came hobbling out towards the end of the previous possession.
He's down there. Doesn't have his helmet on, but
they're down in 7. Option. Nordley keeps it and hemmed in the backfield once again. He leaps forward for a pickup of 1, but that is it. Nelson with another tackle. 4th down and 7.
They're going to have to boot it out of there again.
Scott's defense records yet another 3 and out. See Drew Hum leading the trot off the field. A great game for Drew last week with 2 interceptions against Anderson. Alma native, named MIAA Defensive Player of the Week for this week. Elke from his 15. Scots are coming. They almost get there. They avoid him, though. No roughing penalty on 1 hop fielded by Goralski at the 41. Racing to his right across midfield. They just get the ankles. That's great work out there by Mason Cox.
Got a shoelace.
That is literally what happened.
But great starting field position here for the Scots, and we think Davin Reif maybe?
I don't know. It was forecast as at least being part of the game plan. It wasn't clear if this is when it was going to happen. 2 touchdowns for St. John running the offense, 1 for Devereaux. Each with a touchdown pass. And Devereaux gets the call.
All right.
They'll have Eddie Williams with him there in the backfield. Eddie had the opening score, his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Goralski, Lauderman, Kruger all wide to the left. Ball on the right hash. Quick throw on a bubble screen out to Kruger, who wants to throw for it. Going to try to get it back to Devereaux. He makes the catch back at the 45. Cuts inside, cuts outside, and hauled out of bounds at the 36. So not a huge gain. Good work there by MLC.
Really good job by Peterson for sure.
Nice throw by Gage Kruger as well.
Yeah, I thought that was a really heady play by Peterson to stay right with Devereaux.
7 on the pickup. Quick drop thrown out to Goralski, a yard short of the 1st down. Steps between 2 defenders, and now he's roughed down the sidelines inside the 20. They just get a piece of him. Then he gets
very
drilled late. A mistake and clearly an accidental hit there.
It
draws
was,
a flag. Sure. But basically what happened is
it drew a few flags.
Yeah, Aerosmith did not realize that Goralski had gone out of bounds. Goralski pulled up, and then Aerosmith hit him. Immediately puts his hands on his helmet, knowing that he shouldn't have done that. Not a malicious thing at all, but it's still going to cost MLC an extra 10 yards, half the distance.
And they're going to have to talk about whether it was targeting or not, too, because he ended up getting him up high.
Yeah.
That's what the discussion is down here.
Probably so. I didn't think so, but we'll see.
Personal foul, number 28 of the
And that's the right call.
And it's actually called on Babiak, so maybe I got that wrong. The reaction appeared to come from Aerosmith, but Babiak, the one called for the foul. So not sure on that one, sorry.
Well, it results in 1st and goal for the Scots right at the 10-yard line. The nose of the football rests on the 10.
Borelski and French go back off the line of scrimmage, split wide to the right. Williams is the running back. Scott's already up 21-0 here late in the first quarter. Williams on the give, off to his left, back to his right, and into the end zone for a 10-yard touchdown, 27-0.
10-yard touchdown run for Eddie Williams, and you know, just a simple 5-carry, 60-yard, 2-score game, and Eddie's probably done now. With the depth of running back that the Scots have been using?
I guess that's a possibility. Coach Couch said he'd love for it to be another 6 running back day if they could. What a find Eddie Williams has been, though. A freshman holds the Fraser School record in the 60-meter dash at 7.8 seconds.
I'll tell you what, there's a whole bunch of colleges that missed out on him.
Hernandez extra point up and good. 15 for 15 on the year and 28-0 Alma here. 2:31 left in the first. We'll return. Kinsvatter's going to wear a hole in the turf, putting that tee in the same spot this many times in the first quarter. 28-0. The Scots with their 3rd consecutive game with an offensive explosion in the first half.
It's all gone well thus far.
Led 35-0 against Anderson last week, 42-0 against Manchester 2 weeks ago, and already 28 here this afternoon. Kinsvatter, same angle once again. Tipton is the one back there this time. He'll fair catch it a yard deep in the end zone. And MLC out to a familiar spot for themselves as well at the 25.
They're going to wear a hole in the turf there, I'd say. They just have to get something positive to go their way.
New coaching staff at MLC this year. Paul Hubner takes over the program after a number of years under Mark Stein, who's taken an athletic director position in the area. Handed off the program. Hubner coached 11 years at Shoreland Lutheran High School. Took them to the state semifinals in 2015. A former soccer player at MLC back in his collegiate days. Wanted to play football and basketball, but some injuries took him to the soccer pitch instead. Play action fake. Nordley with a lot of time. Looking long. Has Cox out there. Can he camp underneath it? He can. A great catch into Alma territory at the 40.
That's what they needed right there.
By far the best offensive play from MLC today. And showing the athleticism of Mason Cox. A terrific baseball player. His dad, Randy, is the MLC baseball coach and the assistant athletic director. He hit .476 last season while being an all-UMAC selection, which is the 5th best batting average in all of Division III baseball.
Well, we talked about it. Cox is a huge guy down there.
6'4", 210.
They spotted the ball in the wrong spot by 5 yards, so they fixed that now.
Marked at the 42. Off that completion, clock rolling again now with 2:10 left to go in the first quarter. Nordley a step in front of the running backs and pulls it back to himself. Now late deep pitch to Arndt, and he's planted again. It is planting season.
That was Connor
here.
Duma.
You're exactly right. Duma, who came into today with 7 tackles, adds another there. And Zach Arndt not going to wish he got that pitch.
No. Off the field he comes.
Tipton returns at receiver. He's from Milwaukee. Diverse placements on this roster from MLC. A lot of Wisconsin, a little bit of Minnesota. We talked about 10 players from Michigan, but it's a very strong Lutheran tradition at MLC. Lots of kids going to become pastors or educators within the Lutheran Church. Nordley on second down keeps it himself and doesn't find any kind of space. The Scots haul him down back at midfield. The spot will be the 47.
Yeah, he was met in there by Dunwoody. And backwards the Knights go after the big play to Cox on first down.
Just to finish the thought about where some of these Knights are from, Ostrike, the star running back, is from Nebraska. Cox is from Minnesota. Teal is from Colorado. Tipton, Wisconsin. Jack Vogel, who we've seen in the passing game a little bit, out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. So really all over the place. Backup quarterback Jonathan Slater out of the state of Washington. It's a destination for folks looking for Lutheran education. And timeout called from the sidelines as MLC tries to get lined up on third down and 14. They were struggling with that. They'll take a timeout. We'll be back in just a minute. Final 34 seconds of the first quarter, but it's 28-0 Alma. Martin Luther College into Alma territory for the first time in today's game, thanks to a long strike from Max Nordley to Mason Cox. But now looking at third down and nearly 15. I think MLC may have to continue to go to the air.
Oh, yeah.
Scots have just totally buried their option attack. Nordley wants to throw, has decent time, throws a little square in. That's caught by Vogel at the 40. Going to bring up fourth down and about 8.
They've got to go for it right here, though.
I think so, too. Not in range for an even field goal, I don't believe.
I don't think there's any option right here but to go.
Scots send Robertson in there.
They're taking a long time. I think they're going to maybe take another timeout.
Definitely not planning on running anything as they jog to the sidelines with 15 on the play clock.
Over.
Never mind. It's the end of the first quarter, so they'll do whatever they're going to do in the other direction. We'll pause as well. From the opposite 40 when we return, 28-0 Scots so far. Getting ready to start the second quarter here at Alma College, finishing up some intra-quarter festivities as the 1971 and 2002 Alma Scots teams are being honored. A round of applause from Coach Jason Couch and Coach Jim Cole, of course, the leader of that 2002 team that went 9-2 and won an outright MIAA title. The 71 team went 7-2, beating both Ferris State and Grand Valley State, teams that have gone on to be very successful Division II programs. I was back in the Phil Brooks era here at Alma College. 15 minutes to start the second quarter, and on fourth down, Nordley running for his life, flushed back into his own territory, and he throws an interception to Eli Jackson at the Alma 40. late flag, maybe a sideline warning? There's a player
there's
in
a
there.
player over there, and I think that they maybe
Wouldn't let
didn't allow him
Tipton
to get
go.
out easily enough, I have to imagine.
Now, Corey Tipton got trapped in a sea of Scots. Should be after the interception and the change of possession, though.
Well, Eli Jackson knows a thing or two about catching the ball, certainly.
Came to Alma as a tight end, converted into a linebacker.
Well,
It is a
it is.
sideline warning.
Well, the play was over. I mean,
Right. Pretty easy to throw the warning when it doesn't really affect
Sure.
anything. Coach Couch doing some diagramming of where he thought everybody was. But not a major concern for anyone. The Scots with their second interception of the game. Flowers had one earlier. Now Jackson adds one to a season where he's already recorded 18 tackles and 2.5 tackles for loss. Now an interception added into the mix. St. John back in there at quarterback for Alma. Vern Smith side by side with him. A quick little fake, and St. John stands in the pocket. That quick delivery slinger down to Lauderman, caught at the 25. Can he break the tackle? No, but drags his way all the way to the 15-yard line before Jeremiah Stanton can pull him down. And just like that, the Scots are right back in business again with a 28-point lead.
that was quite a throw, too.
I'm always amazed by how quickly St. John can cock that arm.
Yep.
It's a little short hitch situation to get himself ready, not the big windmill it takes some quarterbacks. Hand off to Smith on first down, dancing his way through the hole, finds space all the way inside the 5 to the 2. And the next thing you know, Vern Smith has Alma set up first and goal. Golish, who's the leading tackler for MLC, makes the stop, and the Scots want to go. First and goal. St. John to Smith again, going left and just going to bowl his way into the end zone. Hilmer cannot
they're going to say
stop
he's
him.
short?
Oh, wow.
That's one of the poorest spots in college football history.
Ouch. Ouch. Sorry, Vern.
Vern was very clearly in the end zone there.
Well, Scots will try this again from second and very close. Let's see if they go back to Smith, give him a chance to finish what he started. Possible offsides on the play. Smith definitely in the end zone this time. I do not see a flag despite some flinching along the right side of the Knights offensive line. And Smith is pumped up, smiling for the camera, hugging his teammates, and it is 34-0.
It'll be the second week in a row that the Scots hold a 35-0 lead. Third week in a row.
Third week in a row. Just got even bigger than that 2 weeks ago. Hernandez, for now, gets to continue kicking extra points, but we'll probably see some new faces.
Actually, this is Kinsvatter out of a Hernandez hold.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, it's not. You're right.
No, that's Kruger holding.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
And Hernandez with
he
his
missed
first
it.
miss of the season, got a little too much of the bottom part of the ball, shoved that one to the right just a tad, so it'll be 34-0 is all. 13:57 to go in the second quarter. We'll be back. Alma with a 34-0 dominating lead. You gave him that 35-0 lead
Curse
too
of the
fast.
commentator.
Too fast.
Well, Hernandez is just automatic.
Well, that's very true. 15 for 15 on the year coming into that one. First misfire. Tipton back deep to return along with Arndt. So far, MLC has only made one attempt on a return, and Friedenberg blew that one up pretty quickly. Tipton's going to camp under this one and try to fair catch it, puts it on the ground instead. Now from the 5, and it will be ruled dead on the fair catch, even though he muffed it. And that will give MLC the ball, I believe, still at the 25. Honestly, as that was happening, I wasn't quite sure what the rule was in that situation.
Well, they're spotting it at the 5.
Okay. So you get the fair catch but cannot advance it, and you don't get the benefit of the doubt, or at least that is what it appears at the moment. Might Might have a quick discussion about that one, but everyone seems to be in agreement that that's what's going on.
Oh, this is just terrible field position for Martin Luther now, down 34-0, and this is a team in Martin Luther that's just not used to this over the years.
They played the Scots very tough last year, losing 35-27. MLC led that one 13-0 and 27-21 along the way. A different story this afternoon, 34 points, just a little over a quarter into this one.
Now they have picked the football up.
Still thinking about this. The headlinesman comes in.
And the white hat says, put that ball back down.
Here comes an explanation, the microphone not working.
It's cold out.
Official is stating what happened, which what we believe is because of the drop on the fair catch. The ball then cannot be advanced and gets placed at the 5. Honestly, I'm not sure, so we're going to roll with this and assume it's correct. MLC goes 4 wide, a single back, Nordley from the pistol. If he drops back at all, he will be in his end zone from the 1. Hands it off to Recker to start. And Malasco, the first of many Scots there. Alec Frederick as well, and a loss back to the 3.
Malasco was there in a hurry.
I'm curious, Jeff, whether something has happened to Carson Ostrike, because we have not seen him since very early in the game. And someone of his talent, it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't be utilizing him. So I wonder if he got dinged up or something. Martin Recker split in the backfield beside Nordley now on 2nd down and 13. Option into the middle, Nordley with a keeper and Nordley with no room.
No, going backwards.
Yeah, they're going to give him a yard this time out to the 4. About a full 3rd and 10 with 12:53 left in the first half. College football homecoming here at Alma College on Q104.9, streaming at WQBX.biz and with video via almascots.com and YouTube. Topher Goggin, Jeff Somerville with you live here as the Scots lead at 34-0. They're down in 10 from inside their own 5, and Nordley slips down. That turf must be slick. We've seen that multiple times now today with people losing their footing.
Yeah, and one of the linemen, I think, is shaken up too.
You're right.
Who maybe had the ankle go out from under him.
MLC will send the training staff out. We'll take a quick break here, I think. Yep, they're going to kneel down, so this will take a second. So we'll take a quick break, come back, 12:18 left in the second quarter. MLC's Samuel Rodriguez being helped off the field by a couple of coaches after appears to be some sort of lower body injury. And MLC now will have to punt from its own 3-yard line. Elke with the heels on the back of the end zone. Goralski inside the 40 waiting to return. A little bit of breeze behind Elke with a one-step delivery. Nice work there. And It'll drive Goralski back, lets it land at the 36, and it'll roll dead out at the 38, but kept that away.
Nothing more he could do.
Yeah, from Goralski's hands and unblocked.
Yeah, simply, like you said, just took one step into it and got it as well as he could.
Drew Hum blocked a kick against Martin Luther in that game in Minnesota last year. And now Alma will send the offense out again, and we'll see who's in charge.
Looks like Carter St. John.
Yep. St. John 3 of 5 through the air, 99 yards and a touchdown. Couple of carries as well for 22 yards. Two wide receivers go to the right. Kruger comes to the left. Quick screen pass to Johnstone out in the flat. Jansen with a good block, but well shed over there by the defender. That's going to be Stanton, who broke away and made a nice tackle. Still about a 5.5 yard gain for Johnstone, Midland product. Second and a short 5. Given off to Hogan, who had a touchdown taken off the board by penalty. Picks up 9 there on the ground. Down the right hash marks to the 25.
First down, Scott's cycling players in and out. They had brought Walters in as a blocking back that time.
Hogan made his offensive debut against Manchester 2 weeks ago. Actually played defensively in week 1 against Ohio Northern. Play action fake on first down. St. John from the pocket stands in with a lot of time. Throws a little bit short. Almost got that through to Johnstone though, and
sure
he got
did.
his arms underneath that at the 3. I'm not sure how. What a catch by Tommy Johnstone inside the 5. It's first and goal.
First and goal, Scots. They're going to set it right at the 2 yard line. Elma wants to go quickly again.
Hogan to the left of St. John. Takes it. Barrels into the hole, keeping the feet up. The knees up, and the ball across the goal line for an Elma touchdown.
Nice run there from Buddy Hogan. Just kept the legs moving. Held the ball out across the goal line and a touchdown.
And this time it is Kinsvatter for the extra point.
You're right.
40-0 Elma. Kinsvatter primarily has been a kickoff and punts guy here at Elma, but was a talented place kicker back at Petoskey High School from Indian River. Hit a 43-yard field goal last year, so he's got tons of leg. And this extra point is chipped up and threw back into the track area with no trouble. 41-0, 11-14 to go in the first half. We'll be back. Kinsvatter handled the extra point, so Hernandez will kick off for the Scots now with a 41-0 lead. Dominant from the word go on homecoming. Hernandez scoots it along the ground, and that one bounces up at the 20-yard line. Nice cut inside, and then diving forward from Zach Teal, 6'2", 215 tight end. Doesn't know who to give the ball to.
No.
Finally gives up and just drops it on the ground.
Just leave it here.
Here, the student section counting to 41, so there's some sort of activity going on.
Raising the tubas.
Ah,
41 times. Justin Peck told me that's what that was.
That is why you want to play the trumpet.
The flute, maybe.
Yeah, find a piccolo. First down, MLC trailing 41-0.
Goodness.
Straight ahead wrecker and straight down. Not anything there to work with.
Brought down quickly
That's Oswald.
By Oswald out of Eel City.
Eel City come back and hold on last night? They did.
No, I never saw.
I believe so. They were down against Everett. I'm pretty sure that they got that win to move to 5-0. Second and 9. Recker will split out in the right side slot along with Cox. Then go in motion behind the play. Oops, and everybody moved a little too soon.
Literally.
Either everybody was too fast,
I think
maybe
the center was probably
late.
too slow.
Yeah. It's a big ask for Timothy Manning, a freshman center, to run this fairly complicated offense
complex.
where it's not like every snap is the same. Second and 14 off the penalty.
To me, it looks like where Martin Luther needs the most help right now is along the line.
Yeah, I mean, if they had a little time in the backfield to make these decisions, I think this option could be considerably more effective. The Scots are just there too soon. Nordley, play action, wants to throw. Gets hit as he throws, going down the left sideline. Everybody locked up there. Cox reached around, tried to make the catch, flagged down. Probably going to go against.
Caught the ball.
He thinks he did. Did they signal that? The side judge here says no. But the flag's going to be interference on somebody. They were locked together between Cox and Will Hampton the whole way.
I think they're going to say it was caught and decline the penalty.
Well, I've seen multiple signals that I thought were incomplete signals.
All right.
Fortunately, our referee has lost the microphone, so we're not able to get the full explanation. We're going to have to deduce it based on where the ball goes.
It'll just be pass interference on the Scots. Yeah. Pass interference could have gone either direction, frankly, too.
Yeah. Pass is incomplete. Pass interference, and a first down. Yep, so from their own 42-yard line is where MLC goes. No completion. Nordley on the day, 2 of 6, 40 yards, 2 interceptions. 1 to Flowers, 1 to Jackson on a 4th down where he just had to throw something. First down now, they'll go to the left. Kept by Nordley, pulls it back. Late pitch comes up short on that pitch, and now Arndt just has to struggle to get the ball.
He had to be lucky to continue to possess that football.
Mm-hmm. He had caught it but didn't have it secured to his body by the time the Scots were able to come and start yanking at it. That's good hand strength. Zach Arndt. 5 carries for 25 yards, a couple catches for 11 last week in the loss to Augsburg. MLC 5-4 a year ago, but 5-1 in conference play. Picked second in the UMAC this year. Second down and 11 now. Nordley, a more traditional play with it, just a straight drop and throw, caught by Cox out at the 47, brought down at the 48. It'll be 4 yards short of the first down. Safardini on the tackle. Odin had 10 tackles in this game last year and forced a safety.
Third and manageable situation now for Martin Luther. Trying to put together a drive here.
From the pistol on 3rd down, straight drop. Nordley flush to his left, running, trying to go for the strip of the Scots. The ball comes loose, and who got to the bottom of that?
I believe Arndt got it back.
Yachik with the strip.
It's going to be punt time regardless.
So Yachik will get credited for a sack there. Back to the 44-yard line goes MLC, but they avoid the turnover. But that is their 19th fumble of the season.
They're going to go for it here, Toph.
You are correct. The offense stays out, 4th down and 8. Scots still have their defense on the field. And now a timeout from the MLC sidelines. So they didn't have any kind of a personnel mismatch, not like the Scots got trapped with their punt unit out there. So they'll talk it over, figure out exactly what they want to do on 4th down. We'll have it for you when we come back.
That's good news. Go ahead.
Oh.
We heard the test. That was good.
We come back right as the official tests the microphone, and it's working again. MLC with a change of heart during that timeout, sending the punt unit out. 4th down and 8 if they decided to think about a fake. Kretschmar will handle this return. Goralski took the first couple. Elke from his 30, a little bit of a high snap, pulls it down, blocked. Well, Scott's only got a piece of it. He got it out of there. Now the ball is loose.
Going to give up possession here, though.
Kretschmar, well,
he got away with it.
Kretschmar came, tried to field it, missed, and
badly.
MLC had a chance at the bottom of the pile, but Teal wasn't able to squeeze it. So Alma will come out of there at the 44. Did not see who got the block, but they only got a piece of it. And Elke managed to still punt that about 20 yards downfield.
It's either Tristan Martin or J.B. Couch that recovered that thing. The block, I don't have for you.
Well, speaking of J.B. Couch, he is out there at center right now as the Scots start to rotate the personnel. So the true freshman and son of Coach Jason Couch, Alma High School product, comes out to snap it to Trent Devereaux here with a 41-0 lead. Devereaux hands off to Hogan. Buddy cuts inside across the 45 out to the 47 and leans forward almost to the 48. Isaiah Peterson on the tackle for MLC.
Pretty heady stuff for J.B. Couch, the freshman out there at center.
Already has earned the job as the long snapper for place kicks. Devereaux drops to throw on 2nd down and 6. A wobbler over the middle off the fingertips of Goralski at the 42.
He's going to want that one back. Goralski should have had that one.
That's a hurt the footsteps situation. When you're the guy who's got to go across the middle and it's a little bit high, that's not a lot of fun.
No. I didn't find myself there ever.
There's an accurate statement. 3rd down and 7 for Alma with the 41-0 lead midway through the 2nd quarter. Straight drop this time. Devereaux with all kinds of time. Thrown into the left flat. Webb with his first catch of the game, and he may have a first down. Linesman says yes, and the spot's just going to get better until it is a first down.
Yeah, he's got to move it just a hair.
So here's a stat for you.
Elma's going to say, forget this. We just want to run this forward.
Right. We don't want to wait for you to think about it. The linesman signaled first down really too soon before the ball was spotted.
Well, he's also 25 yards away from the sticks, but
it will
going to get his way in the end anyway.
Will be a first down. But here's your stat, Jeff. Nate Webb catches in 16 straight games that dates back to that mini season in 2020-2021.
Wow.
Had catches in both games that year, every game last year, and the first 4 this year. Play action fake. Devereaux stripped, ball loose, well behind the line of scrimmage, still trying to fall on it. Now a flag down. Flags everywhere.
No idea who got this.
As the Scots went to Walters. They faked it to him.
Somebody
Pressure
missed
came
a
on
block.
Devereaux, yeah. Wiped it right out of his hands all the way back to the 40. I think the Scots got there at the bottom of the pile. Have you seen a signal while they sort out the flags?
Well, the offense is still out there.
Yeah.
Flags came everywhere, which has to be blocks in the back as everybody scrambled backwards to get there, maybe?
Maybe. I really don't know. 2 different officials threw them from separate directions. They're talking to the MLC sideline.
Well, let's see if his microphone still works. That would be beneficial here.
Here we go.
Scratchy.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Alma, followed by a personal foul, blindside block. Alma, number 13. That's a 15-yard
Okay,
penalty.
that's...
Remains 3rd down.
Well, it's only first down, but... Well, that was 1st and 10 right then. Because they gave him the first down when we didn't think maybe they had earned it. So it should be 1st down and a mile and a half. Have I muted you? Oh, I've turned you right off.
Oh.
We don't need to hear you anymore.
Well, I can understand that.
You're all through.
I've been pulled.
Actually, this one turns you off.
Yeah,
this one
you just
don't
turned
hear
off my
me
ear.
anymore.
You just turned off my headphones. That's all. The net result of this is going to be should be first down and forever, or maybe second down if they rule. But I mean, that the block has to be during the course of the play, so the Scots should get the down back. I think that MLC could decline the penalty
and make it second down.
and go with second down into about 22, and that may be what they're talking about.
Or they could go first down and 37.
Right, yeah. The announcement said that the block was after the fumble was recovered, but that's not, the flags were down while the ball was definitely still loose.
It's going to be a long discussion, I think, because it's a strange situation, something you don't see terribly often. It all started on either a great edge rush or a missed block, one or the other. I honestly didn't see it. The first thing I saw was the ball flying into the air backwards.
If you're just joining us, it's 41-0 Alma with 7:21 to play in the first half. Scots struck early and often with 4 first-quarter touchdowns. First, Eddie Williams on a 29-yard run. Gage Kruger caught a 42-yard pass from Carter St. John. Goralski a 13-yarder from Trent Devereaux, and then Williams added a second rushing touchdown. That was all in the first quarter. Then from there, 2 more rushing touchdowns, one from Vern Smith from a yard out and one from Buddy Hogan from 2 yards out. Scots have forced a couple of turnovers along the way as well, courtesy of the interception. And finally, after a lengthy consultation, we have a decision. It looks like it's going to be second down from the 40. Here we go.
Recovered by Alma, followed by a personal foul, blindside block, number 13. That penalty is declined. Second down.
Just as you suggested there, Toph, they decided to decline the penalty, make it second.
Second and 23, and I think they're saying we'd rather go with 2 chances to defend 23 yards than 3 chances to defend 37 and give up a big play potentially. Play action from Devereaux, looking for all of it, trying to find Frenchko at the 30, tries to come back, and that should be interference, and there it is.
The official that should have called it did not call it, but it was pretty obvious.
Back judge called it as Hilmer just couldn't get back in time.
Good call by the back judge there, no doubt.
So that will get most of the loss from the fumble back.
Number 5, that's a 15-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
And in the college game, that is a first down.
So Martin Luther with a chance to get themselves off the field with a couple of good plays, but Alma goes for it all on first down and draws the pass interference.
First down now from the 45 after they get the chains adjusted. Handoff Walters, the Ogama Heights product, steps inside a nice kick-out block, brought down by Elke after about a 3-yard gain.
Scots will go quickly.
2nd and 8, 6:54 left in the first half. Devereaux out of Chesaning High School, the sophomore. Started last week, came in relief today as they have split reps between him and Carter St. John. This is Walters again for 4 more, down to the 39 down the right hash. Scots will try to really hustle it up this time. Low snap, scooped up and given to Walters. This time he's got the first down and then a little extra. Pulled down at the 31. David Bauman on that tackle. Had 4 stops last week, a Minnesota native. Scots continue to move. Play action, rolling right. Look out, Devereaux hit from behind by Elke and sacked. Pressure came as well from Aerosmith.
A little bit of pressure there, huh?
Couple of times
wholesale changes here.
Couple of times MLC has gotten through. We've talked that really the pass rush hasn't been their thing this year.
No.
Finding their way through. Aerosmith's had a nice season. Sack and a fumble recovery. 2nd down and 19. Handoff Will Burnett into the game for the first time. He's only going to pick up a couple and driven backwards. Forward progress gives him the 38.
You're going to end up seeing a lot of different ball carriers like we speculated. Brendan Coulter coming on now. The Roscommon Buck.
Coulter and Burnett will both be out there in a split back set. 3rd down and 16 from the 38. Alma needs the 22 that they lead 41-0 here in the second quarter. Devereaux straightaway drop, throws over the middle short. That one must not have come out real cleanly from his hands. And
can Kinsvatter kick a 52-yarder, 53?
Well, we're going to find out as here he comes.
He might be punting.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, don't see Kruger to hold.
I think he's going to punt this one. Would be a little bit into the wind too.
Previous pass was looking for Johnstone. It is Malasco, the punt long snapper, who's out there. Yeah, that's a good point. Even though there's not much breeze, this is the wrong direction if you were going to try a long one. Instead, Kinsvatter will try to add to the inside the 20 stats. Off the side of his foot, that will be unreturnable, but he didn't get to the 20 before it went out of bounds. That goes all the way across the track and up to the fence.
It's in the sand pit over there, the long jump pit. You said there's a couple triple jumpers on this Martin Luther team, right? You told me that last night?
That is a good point. There are. I have to remember who they are. One would be Golish, who did the triple jump in high school. I'm not sure if anybody is doing it at MLC or if they're just high school triple jumpers.
Well, regardless, that's a unique set of skills that it takes.
Yep, the old hop, skip, and a jump. Talk about interesting talents that these MLC players have. Max Nordley, I don't know if you've ever seen the coverage back when he was in high school, a really talented piano player and composer. Hands off up the middle on 1st down. Said that he took piano lessons as a young kid. His record picks up 3. Didn't really like it, quit. But then when his older brother left to go to MLS, Michigan Lutheran Seminary, so he was kind of alone at home, he'd play around on the piano in his spare time, kind of self-taught. Now composes stuff. You can find videos on YouTube. Pretty talented young man. 2nd down and 8. Hand off to Arndt. And Eli Jackson says hello. Pushes him back after a short gain of maybe a yard to the 29. Brings up 3rd down.
Well, 3rd down and 7. Clock rolling to 4:20 in the first half.
41-0. It's been the Scots the whole way. Remember to stay with us at halftime. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we will have the Kilty Marching Band performance for you. You can watch that not only on video at almascots.com, but we'll have their audio for you here on the radio. 3rd and 6. Nordley straight drop to throw. Pressure comes from both sides. Steps up in the pocket. Now dinks to his right. May have crossed the line of scrimmage. It's not going to matter as he's got no place to go. Eventually brought down back at the 25, and most of the Scots defense was in on the action at some point during that play.
Of a vast majority, certainly.
And punt time once again. Back to Goralski for return duty this time.
Yeah, I think the punt safe has been Kretschmar back there. They've kind of kept the regular defense out there when Jack's been back to return it.
Yep.
But a good chance to try out the 2-minute offense or the short time offense here for the Scots.
Elke under a little bit of pressure. Quickly gets away a line drive. Goralski stays away from it. Thought about the scoop at the last
smartly,
second.
smartly aborted that one.
Downed at the 37 of Alma.
We'll see who gets the chance here with 3:04 to go at quarterback for the Scots.
Yeah, I think it's entirely a question, just like you said, is Alma going to try to run a 2-minute offense, in which case it'll be either Devereaux or St. John, and it is Devereaux. If they were just going to run a traditional offense, I wouldn't have been surprised to see Rife at this point. But Alma, I think, will probably do a little practice of what to do with clock situations here. Eddie Williams back in as well. Johnstone in motion behind the play. Hand off Williams back to the left. Cuts up inside the tackle and down to the 40, out to the 41.
Frankly, Alma uses short time situations at all times, so
yeah, that's a good
They can't possibly go any faster than they already go.
Can't argue with you there. 2nd and 7 off the Williams pickup. Devereaux to throw on 2nd down, out into the flat, caught by Johnstone and Elke right there to plant him. Joey Elke has played a really nice game.
He has.
For MLC today.
No gain at all on that one. 3rd and 7. Scott's waiting for a play to come in from the sidelines here.
Don't see that every day.
No.
Now they'll hustle. Plenty of time on the play clock. First down marker out at the 47-yard line. Scott's from the 41. High snap. Great job by Devereaux to get up high and catch it. And now look
Never
out.
get him.
Down the right sideline. Jansen there to block. The Scots flying down there and into the end zone for a touchdown goes Eddie Williams.
59 yards.
Williams, his second touchdown of the first half. Give Jansen some credit out there in the front.
That's Eddie Williams into the end zone, and there's a flag down.
Flag at the 3-yard line. That can't possibly have been a block in the back.
Wait and see if the Scots have had another touchdown nullified by penalty. Even if so, most of the gain will count. As Williams just took off and motored.
I wonder if they got a piece of his face mask as he was going by.
That would be a possibility because everybody kind of got congested there in the final few feet of that.
Must be because I see the special teams coming
Kick
out.
unit is making an appearance.
It would be a 59-yard touchdown for Williams if it stands.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Defense, number 2.
Oh, my.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
The defense called on an illegal block below the waist. That's not one you see ever.
Not frequently.
So the touchdown stands, a 59-yarder for Eddie Williams. Up over 100 yards again now for Williams on just 7 carries.
Hernandez for the extra point. And he's got that, no problem. 48 to nothing. I was going to say we need one more, I think, and that's right. 48 zip, 2:05 to play at the first half. All Scots here from Bulky Field today. Well, if you want to know Caleb Kinsvatter's kicking range, we might find out right here as he's going to get to kick from the 50-yard line. Penalty on the illegal block and forced on the kickoff.
Be into the wind, but we'll see here.
Eddie Williams now 7 carries, 123 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And I will confess, I wasn't sure who it was on the carry because the Scots had rotated all their personnel. I'm like, who's this new guy? He's really fast. And it's back to Eddie with his 3rd touchdown of the half.
Yeah, I said with 2:10 to go in the first quarter, his day might have been done. That's the only time we've seen him since then, and he goes 59 yards.
All right, Kinsvatter from the 50. Let's see if he just tries to pound this one. He does. Airborne, not quite good for a
Just
field
short.
goal, but nearly on the fly out of the back of the end zone. And it frankly didn't look like he hit that one all that hard.
No. So 2 minutes and 5 seconds here for Martin Luther to try to get something going. But boy, this has just been utter domination from the Scots.
MLC has gone to the air a little bit more, averaging 10 pass attempts per game. Nordley throws it 6 times so far today.
360 to 46 the yardage in this first half.
Wow. Nordley calls for it, hands it off. I believe that's Arndt. Into the middle, picks up 3 to the 29. It's 4, actually. And back to the 28. It was 3 after all.
You're right.
2nd down and 7. Recker and Arndt remain the backs. The lack of having Carson Ostrike takes so much away from this offense. Recker this time for 4 more out to the 32. But that is something that's important to remember and kind of evaluating how this half has gone for MLC's offense. That really their number 1 threat we only saw for 1 or 2 plays. Cox wide left, 3rd down and 3. Minute and 12 left in the first half. MLC trying to find some points. Play action, looking for Cox. Tangled up with Hampton, and Hampton can't get there for the interception. The feet got tangled. Incidental, no interference either way. But Hampton was the only one with a chance at that one and could not quite get underneath it.
Fourth down, excuse me. 3 to go. And
just
so far, they're keeping the offense out there again.
Just enough time left that you wouldn't feel great about giving it back to the Scots here.
No, you don't want to get 55 put on you in the first half.
Vogel comes out to join up. They lined up to go for it earlier, then called timeout and changed their mind. This one's a little bit shorter, though. On the other hand, it's from their own 32-yard line. Nordley on fourth down. In the pocket, throws underneath, caught, and a first down. Nicely done there, out to Teal.
Good job by Teal to find a spot in that defense.
Scots make the tackle at the 48. First down, MLC. 1 minute to play in the half. Now it's MLC that'll hurry. Looking left. Thrown high and too high for Cox, who cannot pull that one in. Stops the clock with 57 seconds to go.
It's tough to go up too high for Cox.
This is the second time this year that Martin Luther's played a team named the Scots. McAllister is also the Scots.
It's odd, isn't it?
See that every day.
No, certainly not.
So second down from the 48, 57 seconds to go in the first half, but Alma leading this one 48-0. What has been an absolutely dominant performance. Twins to the top side of the field from our position up here above the press box. Nordley under pressure, and
Jackson,
down he goes. Say, was it Jackson or was it Underhill? I saw the 4. I couldn't see the other.
Underhill.
Or maybe
no, this is somebody completely different.
A player to be named later.
This is Evan Eastman.
There we go. Patrick Height in there on the sack. That is a former force along the Scots defensive line.
Name we haven't called at all this year.
Had some injury issues. Great to see him back out there. Third down and forever. MLC up the middle and nothing doing. A pickup of only a yard or 2 on a give to Eli Slanger. 8 seconds left in the half. We'll see if MLC wants to try to get something off in the next 5 seconds. It does not look like they will. So that will take us to halftime. We're going to play a couple of announcements, and then we will come back with the Kilty Marching Band here at homecoming. What a dominant half for the Scots, 48-0 at the break. We'll be back with the band in a few minutes. Back here at Alma College, Kilty Marching Band finding its way out onto the field after the Scots lead 48-0 at halftime. Just a dominant early performance from Alma from the word go. Eddie Williams opened the scoring with a 29-yard touchdown on the first drive. Scots had 2 scores on the board less than 5 minutes into the game. Williams finishes the first half with over 100 rushing yards, 123 to be exact, and 3 touchdowns. Vern Smith adds another, as does Buddy Hogan. Carter St. John and Trent Devereaux each throw for one of those going to Kruger and the other one to Nate Goralski. All Scots all the way, and a defensive effort as well. Austin Flowers with an interception, Eli Jackson with an interception, and overall just holding Martin Luther almost entirely in check with the exception of one big pass play. 62 total yards is all that MLC posts up compared to 360 for the Scots. The Kilty Marching Band now assembled. We will pause and play that. So the sounds of halftime here on Q104.9. And if you want the video, go to elmascots.com. Catch that live stream right there. Eddie Williams, 7 carries, 123 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground. Verd Smith, 5 for 31 and a score. Carter St. John ran it 3 times from the quarterback spot for 22 yards. Tyler Walters had 13 yards. Buddy Hogan had 13 yards and a score. Will Burnett, a 2-yard carry. And the only one in the wrong direction in terms of rushing yards is Trent Devereaux, who had to recover that fumble after the ball was stripped away. So he finishes the half with 2 carries for 21 yards. In the receiving game, Tommy Johnstone leads the way in catches for the Scots with 4 for 41 yards. Ty Lauderman, the lead yardage-wise, 2 for 51. And Gage Kruger with the lead, in touchdowns. I guess he doesn't actually have the longest catch. Lauderman had a 45-yarder. Kruger had a 42-yarder for a score. Goralski, 2 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown as well. Devereaux with the reception on the trick play. Nate Webb adds to his 16 consecutive games with a catch. 1 catch for 6 yards. Over for MLC, it has just been tough going. There's no other way to say it. Max Nordley through the air, 4 of 9, 63 yards, 2 interceptions. The big completion came on a 33-yarder to Mason Cox, who finishes the half with 2 grabs for 40 yards. Zach Teal had a 16-yard reception. Jack Vogel, a 7-yard reception. But the rushing attack, that is where it just has been so difficult. -1 rushing yard overall for MLC in the first half. Reese Recker leads the way, 6 carries for 9 yards. Eli Slanger, 2 carries for 5. Zach Arndt lost 3 yards on 5 carries. Nordley, 11 carries for a net loss of 12. And just nothing much doing there. Remember, though, that they are without Carson Ostrike, the junior 6-footer out of Norfolk, Nebraska, who rushed for 113 yards in 9 games last season and scored 9 touchdowns. He came out for the opening kickoff, and we saw him on the field, I believe, 1 other time, but not since then. No appearances from number 7, and that just really takes the primary weapon from this MLC Knights offense for Coach Paul Hubner away, and it's a lot to ask for them to do what they're trying to do against a defense of Alma's caliber without their primary weapon. So that's kind of the story there. Jeff continuing to pull
now
cords
we're good
and push
now.
cords
We're
and
just
so forth, and
we're just chatting now.
oh, okay. Well, actually, he's just
it's
having a
fixed,
day.
by the way.
Oh, good.
We don't know what was wrong.
Okay, well, that's the best.
Apologies to the folks who wanted to hear the band. It was great. The 100th Kilty marching band was fabulous.
I believe we at least had it on the radio, right?
We did have it on the radio,
so I hope
yes.
at least some folks got to hear it. But yeah, a tremendous performance. We got the full show today. The first game against Manchester, not everything was done, but a longer performance, and every bit as fabulous as what we are used to hearing from Dave Zerbe and the Kilty Marching Band. You take a look at their schedule for a game day, Jeff, for a 2 o'clock game. It starts at 6 in the morning.
Wow.
And they've got places to be for certain members of the drum line. There's a report at 7:15, and if you're not there, it says that's when the wake-up calls and door knocks start.
Wow.
So it is a commitment to be a part of a college band, and the Kilty Marching Band is good as any Division I program that you're going to find. Really, really impressive stuff that they do. So if you're the Scots, Jeff, after this, again, fabulous start, what do you do in the second half? You're up 48-0.
Just play a lot of guys, stay healthy.
Yeah, you're not particularly concerned about the result of the game. The other thing is that this was a much cleaner first half.
It was.
Alma won the game 45-7 last week down in Anderson, but they had some things they weren't too thrilled about. Penalty-wise, the fact that Anderson was in the red zone 4 times and Alma only then was able to slam the door on them. So there was some stuff that they felt like they needed to clean up, and I think it has been cleaned up for the most part.
Oh, for sure, for sure. I think coaching staff will be very thrilled with the effort in the first half, and in the second half, you just need to play a clean football game, keep your guys all healthy, and enjoy homecoming the rest of the way through here.
For sure, obviously, this is an extremely important weekend for Alma College alumni. At some colleges, homecoming is a big weekend, but it's separate from the reunions and things of that nature. This is effectively the Alma College reunion, and so many people here. You see the historical teams being honored, tents for various classes that are in significant years, whether it's a 25-year or 50-year, things of that nature. Just wonderful to see everybody here, and it's just always nice when your team is ahead by 48 points during that particular experience.
That it is, no doubt about that. It's a great way to be able to go about things, and should be an enjoyable second half of action, certainly.
And I think you're right that you will see a lot of faces out there for the Maroon and Cream here in the second half. So folks, they're going to have memories of playing in a homecoming game, even if it are people that may not see the field a whole lot during the remainder of their career. They're going to get the chance to do that today. National champion dance team now performing down on the track, getting them worked into halftime.
Takes about 15 seconds to realize why they're national champions.
Oh, Do you think it's that long?
Maybe not that long.
I'm not sure it does. It is instant as far as I'm concerned. But good to see them getting this performance in still with a couple of minutes left in halftime, because they ran out of time between quarters at the end of the third quarter last week. And impressively, the music stopped. They continued the whole routine with no music, synced as ever. Really pretty impressive. That's going to wrap it up for the Pizza One halftime report. We'll play one more commercial break, come back with second half action. 48-0 Scots, back to Balke Field right after this. Ready for the third quarter as Kinsvatter boots it away. Fair caught by Golish on the goal line for Martin Luther. And they'll trot the offense out and try to get something rolling here after being held to just 62 total yards in the first half, well under their 300-plus yard per game average. Not the gaudy statistics from this offense that we've seen in previous seasons, but they just haven't quite been able to get things going. 275 is the actual exact offensive number, 207 of those usually on the ground. Nordley continues on at running back. They'll try a four-wide set. Try to hand it off into the middle, pellet back, and a screen pass incomplete. Little late whistle as if that might have been a lateral, but Reese Recker was in front of Nordley.
Well, I think everyone was just shocked that Recker didn't catch the ball because it was put on the money. It was just he was wide open. I think the official just kind of expected the catch more than anything.
Could very well be. 2nd and 10 coming up. Scott's set up in a 3-4 alignment. We see Patrick Height continuing on, the Michigan Center native. The defensive end on the left-hand side. And off up the middle, breaking a couple tackles is Recker and surges forward to the 34. That's one of the biggest rushing gains of the day.
There was an actual hole to run through.
For MLC.
Just a sprinkle or two here.
A little bit, breeze lightly blowing up here on top of the press box. Pretty calm down there at field level, however. 3rd down and 2. MLC looking to pick this one up to start the second half. Recker breaks 2 tackles, stumbles through the hole, could not get his footing back. If he had, it would have been Recker versus Drew Hum in a race for the end zone. Instead, it is a pickup to the 46, but that's enough to move the chains.
Recker looking good here early in the second half.
Alma's leads the last 3 weeks, 42-0, 35-0, and 48-0, a current score here today. 5-man line, Recker to the right of Nordley now. Pulled back, Nordley going to throw the screen pass out high. Caught by Teal, then races down the sidelines. The Scots give him a shove towards the boundary and out of bounds.
A lot of respect for what Martin Luther's coming out and doing here, moving the football after a first half where just nothing went their way.
That's true. I think they've made some good adjustments, and that's one of the things that Coach Couch talked about, is that these guys will come at you for all 4 quarters no matter what the score is. A tap on the hat from Nordley before 2nd down and 4. And off, Recker looking for space, runs into the back of his own offensive lineman, and that allows the Scots to sneak around behind, stop him for a gain of 2.
Starting to rain a little bit again.
A little bit. Luca Manillo on that stop. Height in there as well.
Third and short, clearly 4-down territory for Martin Luther.
Corey Tipton in with the play. He'll be amongst a trio of receivers wide to the left.
Whoops, second offsides of the day on, I believe, Isaiah Ham.
That's a flinch, and now 3rd and 7.
Just a tiny rain shower headed past. Make it 3rd and a little bit longer here.
Tipton now checks out. Vogel comes in. One catch on the season. He sings in the men's choir at Martin Luther. I believe maybe an organist as well.
Good gravy.
3rd down and 7. Nordley drops to throw underneath. Caught right at the first down marker by Cox. This will depend on the spot. He should have it. Scots drove him backwards. We'll see. The near side linesman is not giving it to him. The far side does, though, and the chains move, and I think that's correct.
I think so, too. He may have gotten away with bobbling the football late as he was going down, which would have changed the spot. But in a 48-0 game, you're going to get that call more often than not.
First down from the Alma 44. Nordley with the back split behind him. Option play. Working to his right, deep pitch up over the top, but Malasco says enough of that.
One thing to say
Slanger not very far.
About Martin Luther, Toph, is they have not put the ball on the turf at all today.
One time on the strip, yep, but that compared to 18 fumbles coming in, of which they had lost 6. A lot of moving parts in this offense and times for bad things to happen.
Yeah.
2nd and 10 after no gain for Slanger. Low snap, Nordley scoops it up, looks left, throws. It's caught for a short gain out there by Slanger. And it's going to be 3rd and 9.
Dykelboer was right there, though, immediately.
You've noticed that.
Give him a yard there.
Yep. Even though MLC hasn't thrown too much today, they definitely have not thrown in the direction of Drew Hum.
No.
Not trying to go at the Defensive Player of the Week in the MIAA. 3rd down and 9. Hum right up in press coverage on the right side of the defense, left side of the offense. Nordley trying to make some adjustments to the formation. Slides Slanger to his right, 3 wide that direction. 3rd and 9, kept by Nordley on an option, trying to run away. Gets up the field, he's close. He's a yard short of the first down.
He saw something he liked right there. That was a good job by Nordley to change the play.
Manillo in on that stop. Frederick as well.
Uh-oh, Nordley's hurt, though.
Oh, he is
just
hobbling
shaking
out of there.
He's not going to.
Trainer's going to come out and check on him.
It's going to take him out of the game for a play.
Now we've got an official's timeout, although actually the trainer is out there for Teal.
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. So Nordley's probably not going to miss a play if we're going to be honest here.
Nordley. Teal.
Yeah, Teal's looks a little worse, unfortunately.
Favoring his right leg. He'll hobble off. That's the second Knights player to leave with a lower body injury today. Previously, Samuel Rodriguez, an offensive lineman, went down. 4th down and 2, the officials wind the play clock, which is starting from 25 because of the officials' timeout. Neither team anywhere close to ready.
No.
Everybody's going to have to hustle here. Eight now. They will get it off. 4th down and 2. Slanger into the fray, trying to push and dig
wonderful
for yardage.
Second effort.
We'll see.
Just a wonderful second effort.
This again depends on which linesman's authority.
I don't think he got it, but
I think he's going to be short.
Yeah, I think they might have to measure, but he does not have it.
Yep, you're right. The linesman on the Scots sideline away from the play came in at the 34. The near side linesman halfway between the 34 and 35, and they needed the 34 to pick up the first down.
I wonder what the discussion's about.
Taking a look across. They may measure this anyway, and they will.
Officials timeout for measurement.
Fairly confident this is going to be short by about 1 football length.
I'm fairly confident it's getting miserable up here.
Rain coming down a little bit. It's been a gray day, not terribly breezy though. Some intermittent rain through the morning that has returned. Spotty showers kind of throughout lower Michigan. This morning, chain gang trots out onto the field. Here comes the stretch, and it's not enough. Short by about the length of the football. A little closer than I thought, but Alma will be able to bring the offense back out.
Expect we'll see Devin Rife here. I could be wrong. But I am not.
Rife out of Frankenmuth, 5'8", 170-pound sophomore.
Offense looks a little different when he runs it. More of a running style quarterback.
Yep. Rife on the season, a couple of touchdowns on the ground, including the game winner in overtime against Ohio Northern. Gives it to
Vern Smith.
Pardon me.
Yep.
And Vern has a first down off to the left, out to the 46-yard line. Rife 5 of 10 passing with a touchdown and an interception, 8 carries, 22 yards, and the 2 scores on the ground. Wants to throw on first down. Flush to his right. Rolling, tucks the football briefly, now throws late, back over the middle, but caught by Johnstone at the MLC 40. He races to the 33 and brought down there. A nice little improvisation. John Holtz and Elijah Henning in on that tackle.
See if they go back to Smith here, the senior.
Smith stands 2 steps to the left of Rife in the gun. First down in MLC territory. Quick throw out to Johnstone again. That's his 6th catch of the game. Races outside at the 30. Upended a flag there. Probably going to be a hold.
Rife got hit hard, too. Hard enough that he and Aerosmith just embrace each other walking back toward the huddle.
Well, those are 2 guys with Tri-Valley Conference roots, different divisions. But Aerosmith from Michigan Lutheran Seminary. It is a hold on Overway from Alma that will negate that pickup. So back to 5 receptions for Johnstone. Number 6 now doesn't count.
I'm starting to break things up here.
Oh, no.
No, nothing's broken. But golly, the rain's getting a little harder, you know?
You're going to need to move to a desert.
Sounds nice.
1st and 15. Smith into the middle, steps to his left. Eludes one tackler, but not the next. Down to the 35.
Scott's featuring Smith a little bit more here to start the second half as a senior, his homecoming. Coach Couch told me, talking to me about Vern Smith, all the things that go along with playing football in college. He's student teaching this semester as well.
Jeez. How about that? 2nd down and 13, little square in, catch by Kruger, down to the 25.
Coach said, you know, sometimes he's got those responsibilities with the student teaching. He doesn't quite get to practice on time, but he makes up for it.
There you go.
Says he gets there when he can and doing a great job student teaching. So
you should just bring the lesson plan right to practice. Do you know what level he's student
I do not know what level he's student teaching.
We will find that out before the Hope game on the 15th, because now I'm curious. Rife down the right hash mark from the quarterback spot on 3rd and 3, and he's got it down to the 20. Stops the clock with 8:34 to go in the 3rd quarter. 48-0 Scots. First possession of the second half, and now wholesale changes.
There are a lot of new skill players coming onto the field. I wonder if they've got the right number.
Everybody out of the bus and everybody new onto the bus. Let's see. I count 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Looks good.
Call it good. Buddy Hogan's in the backfield.
Hogan and Cole Thomas in there, powering up the formation to the right as the 3 receivers go to the left. Hogan going to run left. It's trapped in the backfield. Great retreat to block from one of the offensive linemen, but Hogan only able to save a yard or 2.
I think with all those substitutions that the Scots didn't get lined up right either.
It's Maddox Mosel who came back and made that block. Babiak on the tackle out of Pell Lake, Wisconsin. He's your 42-foot triple jumper.
Excellent.
There it is. You are correct about the Scots not having enough along the offensive line, which may have sort of paved the road for Babiak and company into the backfield. And Martin Luther will decline the penalty Alma takes Thomas out, brings Tyler Walters in. Walters, 28 rushing yards coming into today.
Vern is student teaching upper elementary, 4th grade.
There we go.
Note from Pine Avenue Principal Angie Adams.
Perfect.
I just happened to tip my very wet phone over to see that message.
Good. Flag down on the second down try, and it's about to get a little longer for Alma, I do believe.
Yeah, they're kind of got it in reverse right now all of a sudden.
You know, when you have to adjust to your third quarterback cadence of the game and you've got some new faces
well, and they're
out
rolling different substitutions in right along, too.
Yeah.
So
Alex Dean is still out there snapping it, but some of the other offensive line faces.
I think that's JB. I think that's 62
is that
instead
62
of 52.
and not 52? We will check.
Alex was watering down his mullet a minute ago.
Wow. Nice little
Touchdown.
square in throw, and Elma's going to score. Rife on a strike to Joey Shallow.
What a throw. Holy
just like
moly.
that, it's 54-0.
Davin Rife threw a seed right there.
And in this case, JB Couch doesn't have to come on to snap the extra point because he's already on there. You were exactly right. He had come in at center.
Incredible throw right there.
Hernandez for the PAT. Kruger gets it down, kick up and right down Main Street. 55-0. The Scots keep it going. 7:25 to play in the third. We'll be back. Kinsvatter on to kick it away. Now 55-0 Scots after the first score of the third quarter. Scots had 48 at the half. And one thing for MLC having a little bit shorter roster, they don't have a lot of new faces that they can bring in. Having traveled with a roster of around 50, wouldn't be a little more than that. I was in the process of counting as we came in here, probably about 60 players on the travel roster as Kinsvatter booms it into the end zone once again.
Kinsvatter's been awfully impressive, as he has been all year long. Another touchback.
Nordley continues on at quarterback after getting a little bit dinged up on the previous possession. See if Teal is back out there. I do not see him yet. He hobbled off with what appeared to be a little bit bigger of an issue. First down from the 25. Nordley a little bit handcuffed by the snap, hands it off up the middle for 2. And that's Recker coming out of the bottom of the pile.
Really trying to feature Recker now, it looks like.
Jacob Taunton in on that one. 55 tuba raises now going on down in the band. Band's going to be all for sportsmanship and not running up the score. Hand off to Recker. No, pulled back. Nice throw by Nordley. Tipton makes the catch and now races to the outside. The Scots come late, shove him out of bounds at the 40. But a nice pickup there. Good read by Nordley to pull that one back.
Little RPO action.
Get that one out there.
Everything else had just been triple option. That was a triple option, but an option to at least throw laterally down the line of scrimmage. Got
an unidentified knight into the game wearing number 13. Try to figure out who that is. Kept by Nordley off the option. Moves into the second level and out near midfield. Hit hard there. And I'm going to double check on him, in fact, as Solani delivered that last tackle. First down for Nordley. Solani, the Manton native. 8 tackles coming into today. A number of his relatives also played football at the collegiate level.
So there's an unidentified number 13 for Martin Luther that was out there.
I did.
That's Thomas Kolpin, a freshman from Folsom, California.
Very good. And up the middle with Recker on first down to the 44, another 6-yard pickup.
Kolpin must have made the travel squad, but not the travel roster today, apparently.
Well, and you know what? That's interesting. What did you say the first name was?
Thomas Kolpin.
Okay, because Christian, it's actually Kelpine.
Kelpine, okay.
Yep. Or so they told me. But so Christian is on the roster wearing number 90, but Travis, apparently a late addition. Nordley pulls it back, takes off on 2nd and 4, picks up 2, down to the 42, working to the right side, across the 5-minute mark remaining here in the third quarter. Height with another tackle. Reminiscent of the olden days when you'd call Patrick Height's name about every third play on defense. Martin Luther still digging and grinding here despite the 55-point deficit. Nordley's gone the distance at quarterback. He stands 4 yards deep in the pistol, drops to throw on 3rd and 2. Looking to his left and a little bit of a wobbler. I think that football probably starting to get a little wet. Can't get it to Cox. Incomplete and 4th down. And that will be one story that we're going to want to pay attention to as the year goes along, Jeff. Because this is just the second football game played on this brand new turf, we've seen a little more slippage than we're used to. And we wonder if the traction is just a little different under the rainy conditions today. 4th down and 2. MLC going to try to pick this up at the Alma 42. Nordley hollering. Directing traffic. 7 on the play clock. Hands it off in a big gain. Slanger fumbles the football, though, coughs it up, and the Scots have it. Will Hampton with the fumble recovery back at the 24. And just when something started to look right, it's the 2nd week in a row where Will Hampton records a turnover for the Alma defense.
Oh, yeah, it was a big hole, biggest hole of the day so far, and went right through, had the first down, and just coughed it up.
Ugh.
Tough break right there.
14 turnovers now forced by the Scots this season after 40 a year ago. 54 over the course of the last 14 games.
Let's see what Scots personnel we've got out here. That's still rife at quarterback.
We do expect that if the Scots go to another quarterback, that it will be Olazuk, who we saw in the Manchester game. Rife hands off on first down, and this is Burnett with his 2nd carry of the game. Got one in the first half. Out to the 26 for a pickup of 2. Will Burnett's been a steady force in the Scots backfield, not with a ton of carries, but he's been there for a while.
Sure.
Provided some stability in the running back camp. 2nd down and 9. Burnett again working right off the Rife handoff to the 30, to the 33. Now still on his feet and just climbing laterally along the ground like a fireman's crawl or something. And give him all the way to the 39-yard line. Staying
They're
low.
going to give him better than that even, out to the 40.
Staying low under the smoke.
Guess so.
3:30. Burnett takes the fake this time. They'll throw it underneath. And a big hit as Drake Jost makes that catch. Pickup of 3 to the 43. Corey Deere, we've called his name in the receiving game from time to time. A Gaylord product. He's split wide to the right, 2nd and 7. Rife to Burnett. Nice hole up the middle. Going to try to just go right over the top of 2 tacklers and lean for the marker. He's a yard short at the 49, but good strong running again from Burnett.
Suspect he'll probably get it right here as well.
3rd and a yard. Unless you kept it in Reif's hands, I think that's a good guess. And how about an offsides penalty instead? Free play for the Scots, and it is Burnett for 2. Everybody in the neutral zone, and since it wasn't whistled, I don't think the Scots moved. And they will probably end up accepting this penalty because Burnett only got 2 yards, which is what he needed for the first down, but the penalty will get him 5. Chandler Holloway into the action at wide receiver.
Coulter back in at running back now.
Okay. Joey Shallow up to the top side of the field, who had the previous touchdown catch from Reif. Down to 2:37 to play, but only the 3rd quarter. We still got another 15 minutes behind this. Reif in the gun, just on his own side of midfield. Handoff, working to the right. Coulter fumbles the football. Can he get it back? I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so. I think that's got to be Hirsch that's got it.
He had a hand on it. Oh, they're going to say the Scots wrestled it away.
Great
Coulter
job.
got it back at the bottom of the pile. He had only one arm in there on that football, and normally you're not able to retain it in a big sea of arms. But in this case, Coulter indeed gets it from Hirsch. Keeps the Alma possession alive. Scots coughed it up a couple times last year against MLC. Coulter to the right, inside the 40. Look out, and here goes Coulter to the races. He's going to be rewarded for getting that fumble back with a touchdown down the sidelines, 61-0.
42-yard touchdown run for Brendan Coulter. Scott's pouring it on here.
Nice.
And they're looking for someone to kick the football.
Nice blocking along the right side there.
Going to be young Mason Stambaugh.
Alma High School product. A work out of a hold, I believe, from Benjamin Schaefer. Stambaugh, a very successful soccer player at Alma High School as well, now with the Scots to kick. And he gets a chance to try an extra point on homecoming, and he's got it. 62-0, 1:37 to go in the 3rd. We'll be back. Ed Markarian on to handle the kickoff duties this time out of Livonia Stevenson. We saw him for an extra point at the end of the Manchester game. So after Stambaugh handled that PAT, Markarian to kick off. 62-0, Alma, minute 37 to go in the 3rd quarter. It was 48-0 at halftime. High short hanger taken from the 15-yard line. Along the left and brought down there is going to be Guzzi. Bryce Guzzi, a 5'11" defensive end, gets into the kick return action.
Well, Martin Luther sniffed some points on the last drive, but fumbled it away as they were about to have a first down.
We are going to see the quarterback change. There is Jonathan Slater, 6'2" freshman out of Lacey, Washington, which I believe is in the Tacoma area. 2 of 3 for 18 yards and an interception in the game against McAllister. Also 26 rushing yards and a score. First down play up the middle for a yard or 2. Out to the 24, that's Slanger, who had the big gain prior to the fumble on the previous possession. Westman makes the tackle for the Scots. So the Scots between number 46 and number 48 have a Westman and an Eastman. Late pitch coming out to the left for MLC on second down as Recker turns it up, crosses the 34, should be a first down out at the 35 for Recker. With Westman and Eastman, that reminds me of Tri-Valley basketball, where you've got both Luke West and Luke East that you can run into in back-to-back games.
Well, they've got Kinsvater, who played for the Petoskey Northmen, I believe they're called.
You know,
somebody up there's the Northmen.
I think you might be right about that. Third down, or fumble now from the 34 is first down, and the Scots claim they've got it back. Slater never got the snap. Alma gets it at the bottom of the pile, and there's 4 turnovers now for this Alma defense, so they'll keep that average up over the last 14 games.
Give the credit on that fumble recovery to Eastman, your guy. $62-0 with 19 seconds to go in the third quarter.
See if it's more rife or if it'll be time for Olazuk.
I think you'll see Olazuk here. Yep.
Zach Olazuk, 6'2", 180, freshman quarterback from Livonia Franklin. Well represented in the various Livonia high schools on their roster. From the 32, Walters takes the give, burst to his right. Nice block from the outside, gets him to the corner and down to the 26-yard line for a pickup almost of 6. That's Corey Deere sealing off the end of the line there from his wide receiver spot.
Bring us to the end of the third quarter.
It will. That's zeros on the scoreboard. 15 minutes to go, 62-0 Scots. We'll have more when we come back. Alma 62, Martin Luther nothing as we head to the fourth quarter on Alma College homecoming day under a light rain now that has returned.
I don't think that's putting a damper on anyone's spirits.
Not too much. Alma ball, second down and 5. Zach Olazuk hands it off to Walters, trying to get the corner to the right, jammed out of bounds at about the 18, but he's got the first down after another 6-yard pickup.
Bodies flying all over.
Jordan Ramirez in on that tackle for Martin Luther College. Martin Luther College actually formed in 1995, but the history much longer than that. It was a merger of Northwestern College and Dr. Martin Luther King College. It created the single unit, 30% of the student body involved in athletics. Walters up the middle on first down, another big hole inside the 10, should have another first down. This will be first and goal before the Knights can bring him down. 5-4 last year for MLC after actually a 1-4 start. I think I mentioned 1-2, but it went all the way to 1-4, and they won their last 4. So they'll be looking for a similar turnaround this year as they're going to open 0-4 this season, but picked second in the UMAC in a program with some strong history. Coach Mark Stein finished 33-32 overall in his career before leaving at the end of last season, but he had an 0-10 season early on, so that tells you about the success later in his tenure. Straight down the hash marks goes Walters on first and goal for 4 more, down to the 4. Hirsch on the stop. Ryan McNiff in there as a wide receiver for Alma. Taking a look over to the sidelines along with Holloway and Deere. They'll all be wide to the left. Alma slowing the tempo a little bit.
Considerably. There's only 10 seconds on the play clock. And you can understand why.
Olezek, the 4th Scots quarterback of the day, looking to lead his own touchdown drive. He'll do it with Walters if he doesn't on this play, and it does. He bowls into the end zone, carrying 2 Knights with him, and Alma now leads it 68-0. I feel bad I do not have my Alma Scots record book with me that would tell us where this ranks in terms of total point output, but you've got to be pretty near the top of the list at 68, I would think. Stambaugh again with Schaefer to hold for the PAT. Good snap, good hold. Stambaugh pooches it through. 69-0 and still 13 minutes to play. Homecoming rolls on when we come back. Homecoming coming to a close here at Alma College. 13 minutes left in the football game, which the Scots lead 69-0. Parade was earlier. Dr. Scott Messing, a legend of the Alma College Music Department, your Grand Marshal this year. And Ed Markarian kicks it off to the 15. Fielded there by Kelpine, rather. Travis Kelpine, who Jeff's cleverly researched and found out, even though he wasn't on the travel roster for us today, he returns it out to the 23-yard line.
Well, Toph, they've got a while to get to the most points scored in a game.
Okay.
Would you care to take a guess?
Based on that, is it over 100?
It is.
Okay. I'm not surprised by that. That happened back in the day.
1912, the Scots scored 106 points against Central Michigan.
Wow. Chips yielding 106. They're hoping to do better than that today against Penn State. 1st and 10, Slater collides with his back, keeps it himself, and loses 3, working left back to the 20.
In modern times, this is a record for the Scots, though.
Okay.
If you go anything after 1951,
okay,
they scored 65 against Defiance in 1996, 70 against Adrian in 1951. So.
All right. Well, there's also still 12 minutes to go.
That's a fair point.
Game is not over yet. Elma native Ryan Calhoun in along the defensive line. 4 tackles this season. And off into the middle and nothing doing there once again. So Martin Luther has brought in some new personnel themselves. That was Slanger on that carry. But the Scots continuing to clog up the holes. Big Tyler Holtzheater leading the way. 330 pounds out of Waterloo, Wisconsin on that one. 3rd and 11. Vogel splits out wide to the right. Slanger and Recker are the running backs as Slater drops and looks to throw. sets his feet, lobs it over the middle, too high for Vogel, who collides with two Scots defensive backs as the ball sails free, and that'll make it 4th down.
Well, Scots get the football back here, and looking over that record book during that possession, they have a chance to get themselves into it for more than just the total points scored in a game, which they will make it at least onto the book there. But first downs is an opportunity as well. How many guys they got out there right now?
Yeah, the flag is down.
How many guys do each team have?
I see.
It is the offense.
Now, they've got 11, but they briefly had more than that breaking the huddle, I think. So I don't think anybody has to leave.
The Scots right now with 28 first downs in this one.
Wow.
30 would get them on the list.
Okay.
38 would set a record. 38 in 1999 against Franklin. That is a game in which the Scots threw for 569 yards.
I was going to say, there's got to be some gaudy numbers in the Scott gun era.
Most passes attempted in a game, 84.
Mackenzie McGrady?
Probably so.
Nearly blocked on the punt. Bouncing forward for Martin Luther into Scott's territory at the 39. I don't know whether McGrady kept that record. I'm almost certain that he broke the previous records that had been set during the Brem era, that then McGrady threw more. I can't remember if the 84 pass game is actually him. McGrady out of Portland, quarterback the Scots in the mid-2000s.
That would be him. Threw for 606, or had 606 yards of offense in that game.
Jeez.
Doesn't say how many times he threw, but as a team, they threw 84 times.
Okay,
so.
yeah, he might. I don't know whether he had all of them or if he was in the 70s, but regardless, 84 times as a team is pretty impressive. Burnett opens the Alma possession from the 39-yard line with a run for no gain. Clock ticking away at 11:15 to play. 69-0 in Alma's favor here. Scots have made another change at center, so after J.B. Couch's appearance, I think that's Sage Cry who's in there now.
I'll agree with you.
Burnett and Olazuk take a look to the sidelines to get the play call. Holloway split wide left, 2nd down and 10 from the 39. Burnett going to run a sweep to the right, turns the corner, flag down, pushed out of bounds after about a 3-yard gain, but this has the look of one that won't count.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't think that one's going to count.
Babiak on the tackle. It is an Alma penalty. I think, did J.B. Couch get whistled for that one?
He's playing right guard.
Okay.
Or right tackle, excuse me. He's playing right tackle.
So not really his natural offensive line position. Primarily now a center. But taking the grand tour today of offensive line spots for Dad's team. Middle brother Sam and youngest brother Cooper both saw the field for Alma High School last night. Sam Couch, our player of the game for the Panthers last night as they went down in defeat on their homecoming night. 2nd and 20 after the hold. Handoff Burnett. Working to his left and not finding much space. Maybe a yard or two as he continues to fight. Not able to get too far. Mosel out there blocking for him.
See if the Scots go to the air here on 3rd and 18.
5'9" freshman wide receiver Matthew Ames is out there right now. Ames out of Utica Eisenhower, down in Shelby Township. Shallow, who had the touchdown, is on the top side of the field on the 30-yard line. Now on the 29-yard line, backing up to get the formation legal. Keeper from Olazuk, sidestep as the pressure came fairly quickly. Room collapsed in a hurry, thanks to Thomas Balgi, who makes that tackle. And the Scots will look at 4th down, and we'll see who they send out to punt. I'm honestly not sure who is behind Kingsvatter.
They had Kemp warming up to punt.
Okay, and that does look correct. I guess we did see Kemp come in because if you remember in the Manchester game, we thought he was the one who had switched to 91, but that turned out to be Markarian.
Right.
Kemp was in 92. Kemp will stand at the 16-yard line. Good snap, no appreciable pressure. And a punt down the middle of the field, kept away from the return men. And a favorable bounce to the Scots. It'll roll all the way inside the 30 to the 29, where Martin Luther gets it back with 8:42 to play.
Well, things have gone quite well for the Scots here today. And in the non-conference as a whole, really. It's going to be 4-0 as you head to league play.
Another good day for the MIAA, although Kalamazoo lost to Alfred, a big win for Hope. Trine was ahead at the half. Alma winning huge here. First down for Martin Luther from the 29. Slater, handoff to Recker, good for a gain of 3. With Slater, you can continue to kind of get a look at this directional snapping
We
told you back about back in the pregame, where based upon the action of the play, whether it goes right or left, the ball is snapped in that direction to just sort of get the flow going. They lead the quarterback. One thing we haven't seen, Jeff, is we haven't seen him run any kind of a counter off that, where the snap goes
that could
right
go
and
a
the
long
play
ways
goes
if
left.
it was run well.
Option to the left, pressure coming through from Solani, and the second man, Westman, makes the tackle back at the 25. Forward progress will stay at the 27, but Solani first. Sorry, that's Eastman. Eastman is 48, Westman is 46. We had a north-south confusion with the officials earlier. Now we can't keep west and east straight.
We'll get there.
Third down and 13. One receiver to each side with 7.5 minutes to go. Slater fumbles the football, scooped up. No, still loose down there. I think Martin Luther got this one back.
Yeah.
Eventually, Slater found it. It was loose for a while, but it will be 4th down, and Martin Luther's going to have to punt again.
Getting a workout with the punting, that's for sure.
Scots have forced 4 turnovers today. McNiff back to return. One of 3 Mona Shores sailors on this Scots program, along with Flowers, who had the early interception back in the first half. Elke from inside is 10. Scots bring pressure with 2, and I'm not sure if that was partially blocked, says the umpire. Another blocked punt that goes forward. So the Scots block 2 today, but still up to the 43-yard line.
Great field position for the Scots again.
McNiff gets 23 yards on the partially blocked punt, which is about what he got on the last one that was blocked.
You're right. See what the Scots do at quarterback and all over the rest of the field, frankly, here.
At the same time, MLC might want to think about those wide splits that they're
They are
using.
very wide. You're not wrong.
What happened there, and what's supposed to happen with that, is a couple guys are allowed to get through and then hit the next 3 pocket protectors, but the Scots drove the pocket protectors backwards right into the punter. Handoff on first down, new quarterback, new running back for the Scots. That's going to be Brian Morgan on the carry, and it's Jax Kinninger back in at quarterback, who we've seen intermittently over the past 2 seasons. Caledonian native. Yet another school that are the Scots.
Yeah, absolutely. The Fighting Scots, I think Caledonia
I think that's
is.
right. Yep. If you're just joining us, this is the second time in 4 weeks that that Martin Luther has played a team called the Scots, as McAllister, their week 2 opponent, also the Scots. Second down and 7 for Alma. Morgan gets it, working to his right, cuts inside a tackler, 360-degree spin, and lean to the 35. Setting up 3rd and 3, knee down back at the 36.
We'll see if the Scots can pick this one up. Clock rolling, under 6 minutes to go.
It's kind of one of those awkward spots if you don't. You know, do you punt from the 35 in a 69-point game? Do you just go for it and run?
I think you just go for it and run, probably. The Scots are running lots of time off the play clock and things now, too.
Ty French in it. Tight end on the right side of the formation, actually lined up more as an H-back here. Morgan hitting the backfield. They've got him by the jersey, and he will not get away.
Run blitz right there. Really nice run blitz.
Garrett Parker in on that stop, and now fourth and a little longer. Fourth and a full 5, but no appearance from the punt unit at the 38 of Martin Luther. Kinninger will get a chance to try to pick it up. See if it's another Morgan carry, or if the Scots will go to the other. They're going to try the hard count, which almost worked. Now an unexpected snap. Kinninger gets it, is going to throw it down the sideline, and just a little too far out in front. Looking, I believe, for shallow. Pretty sure Kinninger wasn't ready for that.
No, I don't think he was either, but he got it.
Come and run the hard count to try to get MLC to jump. They did not. And then the snap came back, and Jax was kind of like, well, let's go. Almost found shallow, which would have been his second touchdown of the day.
Yes, it would have.
Just a little too far out in front of him.
Scott's back to defense.
Brock Beaudry out there wearing number 2. That is a number change from a number of the programs that were printed today. Slater hands off to Recker, who's going to be stopped for a loss of a yard or 2. Beaudry, a freshman defensive back out of Trenton.
I think the Scots have David Apple out there playing corner.
Okay. Another Alma High School product.
He's the only number 14 on the roster, so that's why I say that. He's listed as a wide receiver, but perfectly capable as a corner.
Apple back from a knee injury his senior year in high school during basketball season. Played through it through baseball season, then had surgery. 2nd and 11, pickup of a couple by Recker. Going to be 3rd and 9. Gene Husky the 4th out there for Alma. Subbing in along the defensive front. He'll be the right side defensive end. Oswald on the left side of the defensive line. Aiden Gurdon. Corner to the near side of the field from our perspective. 3rd down and 9 for MLC. Clock down to 3 minutes and 25 seconds. 69-0 gain. Slater drops to throw. Pressure coming from Oswald, and they'll sack him all the way back at the 21-yard line. A huge loss there, and Oswald out of Beale City.
Got an assist from Luca Manillo.
Bringing that Aggie pass rush. A substantial loss, and the Scots will get one more offensive crack here with a little under 3 minutes to play.
Send McNiff back to return again. See if he gets an opportunity.
"69 points today, according to Jeff's research, most by the Scots since the 1950s. LC going to try to drain as much of the play clock as possible here. Elke under pressure again, gets a liner out of there cleanly, lands at the 50 and bounces straight sideways and out of bounds. So McNiff does not get an opportunity. And Alma will stay with the same offensive unit with Morgan at tailback, Kinninger at quarterback.
I think you're right.
And look who we see warming up. It's Wyatt Rabb.
Oh, if he gets in, if it's a championship game, he'll score. I don't know about right now, but
we know a thing or two about Powers North Central 8-man football, from which Wyatt Rabb played, or for which, wearing number 31.
We know more in a little bit.
Young man who dominated back-to-back state championship games. He did not actually enter the play. He went into the huddle there, cleaning off the shoes. But maybe we will see him. Just a tremendous athlete on a legendary 8-player football team that has dominated that division for the MHSAA.
They didn't get the playoff because they didn't have enough players. Trying
play
to get
there.
Maddox Mosel on as an offensive lineman.
1st and 15 now, and the Scots are
Gonna
going to go
actually
into
take a knee.
they're going to go into the victory formation for the final 2:20. Snap back to Kinninger, who will kneel it down. Scots are going to have to kneel this a few times. As they do it out of the shotgun, they're going to move substantially backwards.
Yes, they are.
Clock will run down the final 2 minutes to a homecoming victory, and remaining Scots fans, of which there are many, can disperse to the remaining festivities for the rest of the weekend. Tailgate lot still pretty full of cars if you look both to the north and to the west, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that.
Kinninger kneels on 2nd down with 1:35 to go. Snap 3rd down with around 52 seconds or so if they bleed everything off the play clock. So probably not going to be able to completely run this thing out. May give it back to MLC for one play. Unless Kinninger just decides to dance around for a little bit without kneeling, which he actually could do because Martin Luther is not coming after him by any stretch of the imagination. 3rd and 27 at the moment. Kinninger kneels for a loss of 4 more. And
spotted it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I was going to say a quick trigger on the play clock. 10-second differential. So Alma will kneel this down once, and then we'll have a change of possession, and MLC will get the final say-so, but the Scots are going to pitch a shutout, it would appear, here on homecoming.
I think the Scots are going to take a timeout and then punt, maybe. I'm not sure. Yep, they are.
Indeed, run it all the way down to 10 seconds on the game clock and then call timeout. And you are absolutely right as Kemp comes on with the punting unit.
One of those deals where you don't want to just give the ball up at the 25-yard line.
Sure. We saw that at the end of the game last night from Swan Valley, who elected to punt with the quarterback almost out of the end zone. But same type of situation. And this is a scenario where if Kemp can kick it away from a returner, but in play, time will actually probably run out on the game.
Right. Well, a very successful non-conference portion of the schedule for the Alma College Scots this year.
Second year in a row that they've done this and run undefeated through the non-conference, though considerably more dominant this time.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Last year ended at 5-5 as the Scots were still just about a half a click behind a couple of the top teams in MIAA play. And that is where the mystery still lies, and the answers will come quickly on the road at Trine next week. Find out just how much progress this Scots program has made, because it certainly appears to be a lot through 4 weeks. Kemp boots it away, and the punt is muffed, and then sliding into it is Kelpine, and that preserves 6 seconds on the clock for at least one more MLC offensive play.
Well, we'll see what they draw up here.
See Silas Steinbrenner out there out of Hartford, Wisconsin. Line up at a wide receiver. Oh, they're going to... Now it's going to look more standard than I thought. Everybody kind of came out in a strange order, like we were going to see a very creative formation, but it's actually just a powerful line with 2 running backs and then a tight end. And it's Recker for 2 yards to end the game. 69-0, a final. The Scots get the win on homecoming. The only question is who of all of these Scots gets to direct the band, because there's a lot of candidates today. We will pause, come back with a post-game show for you here on Q104.9. Scots win it on homecoming, 69-0 against MLC. Back here at Alma College, and welcome into the postgame show. 69-0, Alma gets the victory tonight against Martin Luther. It